Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 318 of the Saturn Studs Podcast. I'm Kurt, joined once again this week by my Morbin co-hosts, mighty Morbin co-hosts, Peter and Jake. Morby. Morby, we gotta go on an adventure, Morby.
Morb and the Morbians. It's the new Illumination show. This week it's high-powered Butts and Feets edition. For those of you who aren't aware, who aren't in the know,
Should be everyone.
which should be everyone. We spent a good half an hour warming up to our show today, looking at the foot styles of the rich and famous and the chair styles, and oh man, I think we've gone down the shoe rabbit hole before, but it's good to take another trip back there. Like I remember when we were looking at like the Yoda high heel. You all remember like the Yoda high heels, and
Vaguely.
But you do. You can't forget stuff like that. But we've been looking at all manner of just puffy shoes.
Yeah, when Peter
me...
says rich, he means most of these shoes were from Wish, so he means rich in spirit, not necessarily rich in the way that high net worth individuals would be considered.
Which reminded me, this is not from Wish. The one I'm going to post.
A sip from
I saw that too. The Balenciaga Croc stiletto, or
Balenciaga Croc stiletto for a cool $625. Get on it.
Can you even put it in sport mode?
I believe, yeah. I believe it's a package you can get.
It does have the strap flip.
It's a collaboration with Crocs, so I'm assuming, yeah, that's a part of it that you can put it in sport mode for when you got to run away from your man of the night.
Why?
Pimp,
all
pimp,
right.
Not.
I have
not
to.
Appropriate term.
I don't know. Who knows anymore?
Am I getting in trouble? Your pimp?
Jake, I think that's the least offensive thing you've said on our show.
I'm even just putting this up on our chat before we even get started is dangerous. I'm going to go back into the world of ridiculous shoes, and I'm never going to come out.
Am I going to have to put gifts in?
You're gonna have to clear this out of the chat. We're gonna need a wash.
It's our version of blinders.
Whenever someone puts something disturbing in the chat, since I can't move my window because of the video recording, I just throw in a bunch of GIFs to clear it out from the area that I can see.
Wait, there we go. All right, just don't scroll up, anybody. Don't scroll up.
Everyone who can see this.
No,
all of you listening at home.
Mainly to you, Peter.
Keep me away from those shoes.
But just like you couldn't keep us away from my man Morbius, Dr. Michael Morbius, dude.
I'm hungry for shoes. I'm
hungry. Yeah, I'm gonna suck the fucking laces out of those shoes, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna risk losing my doctorate degree over some shoes, if you know what I mean.
Jake's about to be a fucking toe vampire out here.
I'm about to go 15 miles off the coast of Long Island to suck the sauce out of a pizza, if you know what I mean. You know, do some real illegal Italian shit, Jake, on a boat.
What do you mean?
Is that what Italian people do? They siphon sauce from people's pizza.
You take like a.
I'm about to take a cab driver across the ocean.
Like when people would siphon gas in the 90s.
Have Italians invented the long penne, and they're using it as like a fucking sauce hose?
Wait, who the fuck told you? Where are your sources? Nobody was supposed to know about the solid piece of ziti.
We've got some
We've,
Goombas on the
we've
payroll.
invented the sequel to Ziti. It's called the Zooty.
And we've come up with a prequel, the Zodi.
It's just a thick, small chunk of pasta.
No, I
rolled
like
into
to
a
think that there are
cylinder.
different variations. Like the Zooty is super long,
And the Zodi
and then
is
what's the
fucking
other one?
the Zodi.
The Zodi is like a disc with just the Ziti size hole in it.
Or the
All right,
Zodi, I
Google-
guess, if we wanted to get off the O.
Come on, Google Images. Don't fail me now. Show me what a full piece of ziti looks like. A full
Long.
ziti.
Long Ziti.
I think
Welcome.
think
There
we
is
might,
long ziti.
you
Yeah.
might have to nip this in the bud because we do have like 20,000 trailers we have to get through.
Yeah, we can get
I
early
just want to
start
watch
on the trailer.
pasta instead of watching trailers.
Yeah. So let's move
Yeah.
on to Trae Watch here, our trailer review and roundup segment where we talk about all the fucking trailers.
So many trailers.
A lot of
Tu-
them
Monday,
are
Tuesday.
repeats or second trailers, such as Paws of Fury: The Legend of Hank. Got a second trailer for that. It
I literally think if I see it one more time, I'm gonna vomit. I can't watch this trailer
It
anymore. I think it's
doesn't-
been in the past two movies we've seen, or that I've seen in the theaters. I've seen this trailer pop up beforehand.
yeah, it's it wants to be Kung Fu Panda, and it wants
wants
to
so
be
bad.
Blazing Saddles, but it's neither of these things.
It's I just a movie's gonna be bad when they like have to rely heavily on the fart joke that they have in the movie, and it's not the only one.
You put that
And
in
it's
the
just-
trailer. You put your
that's-
fart joke in the trailer.
That was supposed to be the hook. Not a good hook.
That's what
Like,
gets,
I
that's
mean-
what gets people in the theater.
Yeah, the fart jokes, that'll get butts in seats. Farting.
We'll serve them
And-
beans instead of popcorn. How about that?
Popcorn's
This
good.
Get out of my
This buddy
office.
eating beans.
Beans.
This guy out here just
Beans.
eating beans. We have the final trailer for Nope. In case you enjoyed the intrigue of not really knowing what was going on in the story, you have a trailer that ruins all of that.
Yep. He couldn't quite hold it.
I
Couldn't-
think
Couldn't
I
help himself.
wonder if people were like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah, this trailer gave away a little bit more than I was expecting.
Gave
like
away a lot.
they kind of showed the villain, and I was like, oh wow, unless there's more. I mean, they could.
I'm
I
sure
guess
Yeah,
there's.
so
but
it
there could be
is-
Morbius. Who knows?
So it's aliens. But like they keep referring to this as the horror event of the summer. The tone of the trailer really made it seem like it was more of like a sci-fi thriller type deal.
Yeah, like a dark, almost like a dark comedy.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
comedy.
This
I
is
thought
like
this was
a
a comedy
Mars
vibe.
attacks sort of deal.
Like it almost I don't maybe I wasn't following along hard enough. And like it seemed like they were pranking the aliens that were screwing with them. And it's like, Stinky, you angered the aliens that are hovering over your farm that are just watching you in a cloud. And it's like, what?
What?
Who? This isn't
No.
this isn't how it's supposed to go. Like, I'm laughing at this. Why am I laughing at this if you're
Where's the
like portraying
spook?
this as a horror?
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, am I supposed to be afraid of like a UFO coming down? Like, the thing I still don't have an answer to is why there was that like zombie corpse bitch in the beginning of the trailer still, with like the gnarled teeth and stuff like that.
Yeah, they got to save something. They got to hold a little back.
Yeah. It just seems like a really weird story. Like you have these like Hollywood horse trainers, getting them ready for movies and stuff like that. And they're supposed to have this like big farm that has this legacy, and just out of nowhere, like I mean, it spells out like the beginning of the movie, like okay, his family member or whoever the fuck that is dies. He gets mad about it. There's some circus coming to town, and aliens start screwing with them. I don't know.
Well, my criticism I heard of Us, which was his most recent movie, right? Was that Jordan Peele has a lot of ideas, but they're not all good. Like I heard that Us got a little too heady for its own good in spots. So I think as he has more success and gets more freedom, he gets a little more outlandish. It's the George Lucas paradigm. The more power he has, the worse the movie becomes.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and do something I've never done before. And I'm going to say this
Watch this
trailer,
movie.
based off this trailer, I'm going to award this movie, Movie of the Year for 2022. Ahead of schedule. I don't think there's any movie that will come out that will beat it based off the fact that when the white UFO comes a knocking, all the black people's power goes out. Black taking black power, and now they're in control, and they're, it's
How can you do
it's
your
a
boy
theme
Nick
and a
Cage
motif.
dirty like that?
Sorry, he didn't have he didn't have black people. Enough black people, I guess.
So
There were a
it's like
couple in
Tiffany
there.
Haddish was in that movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
she
no.
counts as like 3 black people. She's got a lot of personality. She's-
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna stop myself right there. I was gonna go on a joke.
Nope.
We're just gonna walk
Like
away.
the title of the movie. Nope.
Nope. Gonna avoid it. We're gonna go to a different place, a different world, a strange world. Strange world. This is my imagination. They finally made it into a Disney movie.
Oh, right, yeah. Interestingly enough, like I don't have much of an opinion on this movie. Like the trailer, they're like doing an old 50s sci-fi thing, which I can appreciate. I'm a fan of that, and there's the legacy of that at Disney World and MGM Studios. You have the 50s sci-fi dine-in where all the cars are all the tables are shaped like cars, and they have like a big projector screen, and they show all the trailers from the cheesy 50s sci-fi movies. It's a great time. Food's a little expensive, but it's pretty good. And I don't know what there's just a lot of stuff, a lot of imagery in the trailer, and like a family like lost in space sort of deal. Coming out
And time.
Thanksgiving, which
It's some sort of family movie. Like, I think it's definitely
Yeah.
pandering to that kind of like, hey, you're a family, go out and
well,
watch
I mean,
it.
that's Disney. That's what they do mostly.
It's a crazy idea they've never done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this reminds me, the two things that come to mind when I saw this were, one, Forbidden Planet, which we watched, which it starts out as like Forbidden Planet, but Forbidden Planet was a pretty tame movie, all things considered. It wasn't a bad movie.
I mean, it's of the era. It's old, and
Yeah.
their technology was limited.
Love my man Leslie Nielsen. And then it turns into more like Fantastic Planet.
Yeah.
Is that the weird one?
That's the weird French one. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
With the blue people.
Avatar.
Avatar wishes it was Fantastic
I'm going to show
Planet.
my kids that movie and say it's Avatar.
Fucking $10. It's a comment on the YouTube.
It's the tall blue people and the humans who aren't fit to live in the world on their planet, so they have to use technology to adapt. I think James Cameron, I got your number. I'm there.
Figured you out. Yeah.
Shit.
The big story to me here is the like to dislike ratio on the trailer is
Really?
1.3K up to 1K down. I don't see anything in here that would be particularly polarizing, except for maybe the female character is a little butch, but
Like,
Yeah, I just thought it was like kind of like a lame attempt at movie with good visuals. I don't know, nothing really like
yeah,
I feel like it's relying heavily on the visuals and like the
there's not
ideas and
not a
concept
lot
of
of
aliens.
substance to this, but it is a teaser trailer, so like that's fine. They're not supposed to tell us everything in a teaser trailer. You're doing it wrong if you're
mhm.
doing it that way. But at the same time, I don't know what to think. There's not a whole lot to be said about it. Um, you take the opposite of that, and you get the fucking trailer 2 for Bullet Train. Lots more info about what's going on in that movie. Still looks good. It's
Oh.
David Leitch, so he's got a good track record. He directed John Wick, Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, so an action movie with him at the helm, it's probably going to be pretty good. And
Yep.
it looks pretty good. I definitely look forward to seeing it in the theater as I drive my Chevrolet there with its interior of crocodile and alligator.
Alligator. Yeah, correct. Jake, next
Huh.
movie. Pick it.
The Sea Beast.
I,
I
the
think
Sea
Beast.
Beast.
The salty sea beast.
The Sea Beast.
Sea
Who makes
beast
it?
more
Oh,
like
Netflix.
she
Netflix one.
beast.
So from the ever decreasing, diminishing animation studio that is the Netflix animation studio, we get the Sea Beast, and it's got a. I'm getting big Pirates of the Caribbean vibes from a little bit of this, but not just because they're pirates. Um, and they're gonna be chased by big monsters a little bit, and there's gonna be one guy that just kind of tackles them all, and he's probably not gonna live up to the expectations of the little girl who, puts him on a pedestal in her mind palace.
Yep. The fucking twist better not be that they find a good sea beast.
The
I swear
twist.
to God.
The twist is 100% gonna be. I was thinking very strong How to Tame Your Dragon
Mm-hmm.
or
Oh
How to
yeah.
Train Your Dragon vibes from this. And then also I think the guy who's a hero is going to turn out to be more of a hero than he expects, and then his master or whoever the fuck trained him is actually going to be bad, and then it's going to be just them against the pirates, and then they're going to start their own pirate career at the end of the movie,
The
and it's going to be a
Dread
mix of
Pirate
You
Roberts.
you mean the pirate captain with the eye patch and wearing all black with the ugly hook nose
yeah,
is gonna
probably
maybe
that
be a
one.
villain?
Is he
Think
using
so,
Android or
Chief.
iPhone? Which one is he using? Is he using an Android phone? Because if he is, he's definitely the bad guy.
The bubble came up green. Confirmed villain.
Yeah, if he uses green text, he's definitely the bad guy.
I have
He
I have
is
the
rocking the
opposite.
trench coat and open shirt move. Like that's the Walter or the what's his? I always forget who he is now.
Gunther.
Gunther. Yeah. He's gonna go up to the fucking Kraken and just slap it on the chest, open hand style.
And who knows? They probably like take back like the CB's parts and like sell them for monies.
The most notable thing about this movie is it continues to prove the theory that Carl Urban will star in literally anything.
Oh wait, fuck. Who is Carl Urban in this?
I assume he's the main guy.
Oh, okay.
This looks
Well,
exactly like How to Train Your Dragon. I think it was probably done by the same people.
I don't.
Yeah,
You know
No,
what?
DreamWorks does
He'll
not
make
work
it
for
work.
Netflix.
He's Carl Urban. He'll fucking give it his all, I guess. What's the next? What's the one based? Oh yeah, the next Netflix movie based on a book series, The School for Good and Evil.
My
Now,
take is so pedestrian, and I
yeah,
feel like such a pleb. because I'm like,
Now-
oh, Harry Potter for Disney princesses.
Right now,
But
people are
everybody
saying
comments are
it's
like, no.
different. People are really they're like, no, it's not. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. But I'm like, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing Ever After and Harry Potter. So whatever this turns out to be, it's
Like,
gonna be Tumblr bait. Like
even
it's
the
strong Tumblr bait.
iconography is so Harry Potter.
The
Like,
flying letters.
I'm pretty
coming out
sure
from
that
the
was the
foreground.
exact same fucking like VFX package they used for the Sorcerer's Stone trailer.
Yeah, let me see. Let me look up Harry Potter title drop.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's like that's what they're going for. They're going for big hair. And like even just the
Yeah.
look at the shot.
Oh, fucking without a doubt, kids.
See,
The same
my memory
color.
sometimes works. Yeah, it's the same fucking camera move.
And
like,
this
even
too.
down to the fucking text appearing in smoke at the bottom.
Yeah, I want to watch.
They're going to fucking dog warts out here.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, fans of the book who say it's real. We're not like other books. I'm sorry. Your show is gonna let you down because that's how they're marketing it.
I mean, I don't cast any aspersions upon it on its quality just based on this teaser. And maybe the book was good. Maybe the book was unique and different, but it likely was not.
But like it's hard to not say this is Harry Potter when you have like this giant monster flying into a school that's not like if you were to take these words and pop it into like an AI simulator that would like pop out an image, you would 100% get like Harry Potter images, like very close to that. Like children go to magical school
Like
on
the
lake
similarities are undeniable. I don't feel
with
like you can argue.
with a weird way of getting there. Crazy train or a hippogriff or in this case a
rock.
dead fucking crow.
I'm just thinking of the fucking the Prisoner of Azkaban
Yeah.
ending. Which is the
Yeah.
best Harry Potter ending of all time.
Yeah, the 2000s
So
were really
good.
weird. They were like a different era. It was like a
Oh my god, that
it was
was
like
the
in the
actual
past.
effect, wasn't it?
That was the actual ending of Harry Potter 3.
That
Where
movie
he
had
fucking
like
rides screaming at the camera and it freeze frames on his ecstasy face.
like a fucking $185 million budget. Okay. Jesus.
well, She Will is a movie that we got a trailer for.
Yep.
So
You did it.
that it sure is a movie.
Yeah.
Not even sure
didn't
what
we
this
j-
shit's about.
I mean, this fucking just it feels the same fucking thing as like Men or any other A24 horror movie. I don't think this is an A24 movie, but it might as well be.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck this is about. It's she goes to some healing resort or whatever, and they're like, the mud is rich with the charred fucking remains of witches that were burned a long time ago. So they got healing properties. Yeah, yeah. So fucking smear it all over your face or something, and you might cure your headaches once in a while.
This poll quote makes me a little nervous. A superb debut delivering otherworldly feminist vengeance, writes Jessica Kang of Variety. And that is the only poll quote in wait, hold on.
I'm reminded of this other pull quote from Variety for another feminist movie.
Yeah.
From Cow. Do I have
I'm
to?
sorry, beautiful and compelling, Screen Daily. Sits in the tradition of yeah.
It's such an iconic. The frame I shared with these guys is from the a recent trailer for a movie Cow, which was about a cow. But there's a pull quote from Verizon, a powerful study of confined feminine identity, and the pull quote is just right over just a frame of the cow's ass, just right at the camera.
Comments on She Will trailer is great, including, "Yo, Malcolm McDowell is still alive. Clap 3-leaf clover." Okay.
That's just called a shamrock.
Hope Lil Wayne and Drake get a song credit on here for She Will. Lol. Yeah, not just a bunch of people
Damn, Will Smith is in everything these days, huh?
just going crazy about
Because she will.
fucking A. Dude.
Okay, this guy. I love
will.
the YouTube comment section for just fucking unfettered insanity like this. Free agent of the multiverse. Pagans all around the world are and have been waiting for this film for a very long time. Bravo! Can't friggin' wait. 4 exclamation marks. 5 heart emojis.
So somebody also said, I will always look forward to Dario Argento films, especially about witches. Has he done other witch
Did
films?
they not just say this was his debut?
Wait, did they really say that? Dario Argento's been making fucking like he's been
Oh wait,
been
I'm
making
sorry. The
shit
director
since, like, the 60s.
is Charlotte Colbert is probably who they're referring to.
Okay. Yeah, no, Argento made like Suspiria.
But even that shit is false because I'm looking at her IMDb right now, and she's fucking directed 5 movies.
What are we doing here, kids?
Who's debuting?
I'm gonna look up She Will and see if I can actually find the movie stuff.
IFC Midnight.
Dario
Will.
Argento, did he actually direct this? Or
No, he did not.
Okay, he
I
didn't
don't
direct
know what he doesn't seem to have any, unless he's a producer. He doesn't seem
Yeah,
to have any
executive producer.
involvement. Okay. All cast and crew. Here we go.
So, all right, this was one of those film festival movies that came out like last year.
Yeah, it's got a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. User reviews. When horror is beautiful, is a 9 out of 10. There's only 3 user reviews. When horror is beautiful, exceptionally crafted movie, Charlotte brings a unique and original vision into horror cinema. This movie reminded me how much potential the horror genre has and how many beautiful dark stories we might yet discover through innovation. They're all 9s out of 10, so it's
I guess if you're on it, you're on it.
Yeah, I think this is the debut is about Charlotte.
but
Charlotte
this is her
Colbert.
5th director job.
I mean, are they not counting the shorts? She co-directed a short, and then she has 3 other shorts. So
this is like her feature film
her
debut.
feature length film debut.
Hold on,
Maybe.
let me.
The Silent Man, The Man with a Stolen Heart, and Huffs and Puffs, all shorts.
I love how the related searches for this movie are people also search for Heartless 2009, The Lodge 2019, Doom Annihilation 2019.
Oh no! Don't speak it into the world ever again. I don't want to remember anything about that movie, except the protagonist's name was literally Joan d'Arc, as in Joan of Arc.
You just can't say it 3 times without, skipping a beat.
Yeah,
So
like
it's
if you
gotta
say
feel
it, if you
neutral.
say it 3 times, I will say it just a second time. Doom Annihilation. It appears as the in-flight movie for your next transcontinental
Oh, no.
flight.
That's a fate I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy.
Captive audience. You
That-
have to watch it.
Yeah,
You
even
have to watch those same 4 actors playing zombies.
Yeah, just like you're gonna have to go out and watch Vesper.
we're gonna go
when it
for
pops.
monsters.
Haha!
was-
Fuck you.
We'll do Vesper. This is the other half of the. I guess this is the summer of weird landscapes and or body horror, because between Strange World, this, and Crimes of the Future, we're going weird, kids.
Yeah, this definitely is fucking weird.
Yeah, we're getting jiggy with it.
I gotta find that one.
I don't.
Is this like I guess like I don't know how to describe it. Dystopian future.
Yeah, it's post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic, some sort. Also, like kind of futuristic, like the things that are set up, like that are still standing.
Well, it's like
also,
Fallout,
like,
right? Kind of
Fungus has taken over.
Let's read the
Maybe some sort of
description. Synopsis. After the collapse of Earth's ecosystem, Vesper, a 13-year-old girl struggling to survive with her paralyzed father, meets a mysterious woman with a secret that forces Vesper to use her wit, strength, and biohacking abilities to fight for the possibility of a future. Yes.
Oh, biohacking, yeah.
So relatable. Little girls gonna relate strongly with this character.
Little biohackers.
Little biohacker
Wits.
girls.
You know, all the things we want our little girls to be able to do. You know, we want them to have wits. We want them to be strong. We want them to be expert biohackers.
Well, actually, TikTok has told me that it's not hard to biohack my body into becoming the peak physical human. I just have to not eat, and only eat liver.
They're right,
Only
Jake. It is
consume
very
liver by
easy.
liquidating it.
So there's this wonderful chemical called HGH. It will turn you into. It's so easy. It'll turn you into a fucking monster.
I mean, that saves me a trip. I was gonna go out and get some a nice pack of CRISPR, and maybe splice a couple gorilla genomes into my DNA. See if I don't turn into a hulking monster. You know, who knows? Maybe we'll get there one day.
Someday we'll find it. The Vesper connection.
The Vesper Gorilla connection. What was the turn me into it'll probably turn me into a monster. Haha. There we go. Got there.
Yeah, so I've been getting articles in my Google Discovery about this Rob Zombie Monsters picture for honestly probably over a year at this point. So I've been abreast of its development for quite some time. And I've brought it up on the show before. I think the opening here with the black and white, it looks good. Herman looks the part. Lily looks the part, even though it's his wife. Of course, she's going to be in this. She's not a particularly good actress. So I don't have a lot of faith that that's going to be a standout role. Grandpa looks a little bit dubious, and then they make the decision to put it into color on the couch, and we see. They went with the blue face for the grandpa, which has been done before. The Herman costume looks a lot worse. The green is too green. And
it's the Rob Zombie color grading.
Yeah, the voice for the grandpa is all wrong. I know you can't replace the original actor who's just so perfect in the role. But I mean, I'll still see it. I think Rob Zombie is uniquely qualified to direct a modern monsters movie. He's a pretty witty guy. I've never seen him write a comedy before, so it should be interesting. But I've seen him in plenty of interviews. He seems like he's got a good sense of humor on him, and he's directed several horror movies before. So the iconography should not be a challenge for him, or the cinematography. Set pieces, whatnot. It's a lot to say about a 48-second trailer, but I don't know. I feel cautiously optimistic still. I don't particularly enjoy the costumes, but I'll give it a chance.
I have one thing to say about this, and I think we should all try to petition Heinz Ketchup to bring back the colored ketchup in release for this movie. The Munsters Heinz Ketchup, purple, green. You know, different colors, red.
Jake,
different
do you know
colored
how
I caught that one, Jake.
How disgusting fucking
jokes.
Ketchup, colored ketchup is? I once spread a vicious rumor that AEW wrestler Kenny Omega likes purple ketchup in an attempt to get the man canceled. He likes purple ketchup. That's just what I hear. He eats purple ketchup.
Heinz Easy Squirt Funky Purple. I will never forget the time that they released
Oh,
the
that's
one
depressing.
that was based off of Shrek, and the nozzle was his cock. Scarred for so many years. I still have nightmares. That could, however, be just one of those just random things I miscontribute or whatever. But whatever.
I'm quite sad because it's not. It actually is not available. I thought they would just, it's one of those things like, oh, maybe they probably still have it, but no, they took it off the shelf so they could put Cranch on the shelf.
There was so much. There was so much orange dye. There's so much dye products. The EU was just like, look, America, you stop now, or we're calling the UN on your ass.
Gonna
And the
tell
UN's
Dad.
like, yeah, no, we're gonna put baby in a corner if you take this off. If you don't take this
No
off the
one
shelves.
puts baby in a corner.
Yeah.
That joke is evergreen. It's 40 fucking years old and people still make it.
Exactly. You know who's 40 years old and still making it? The Rock.
The Rock is like in his 50s now.
The Rock is 32 years old and still making movies. He's gonna get younger.
Yeah, Black Adam. There's some neat stuff in the trailer. I liked seeing Dr. Fate in there for the second he was in there. All I gotta say is that this new Scorpion King is getting kind of weird.
Yeah. Somebody in the comments was like pointing out, they're like, and it was a good point. Like, I've seen so many fan edits, it's hard to like believe this is a real trailer. Yeah, this is one of the more popular ones for them to make fan edits out of. But somebody ruined the plot in the comments as well. They pretty much called out everything, and I'm like, yeah, this is most likely what's gonna happen. I won't spoil it for you, but yeah, we got some sort of fucking anti-hero who's gonna be battling between whether or not he should kill people to save them, or
save them so he could kill them.
Yeah, whatever. But we got a Hawkman, we got Adam, something fucking Adam, giant Adam Man. I don't know all the DC heroes.
Fucking. I forget his name too.
I think
the Adam
DC Shrink guy.
No, but
Shrink
this
guy,
getting big.
Shrinking large guy.
Not King Shark.
I mean, there is the Atom, but
I don't think this is the Atom though. Yeah, I don't know.
Dr. Fate. Like
we got the Atom. We got Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate looks cool. I'm hoping that.
Yeah.
If Dr. Fate can do anything, he should be able to pull this universe together. I don't know. I'm expecting it to be like a random fucking character to pull the DC universe up out of the dust and shake off all the fucking human remains that Ezra Miller left on him, because Ezra Miller just took the corpse of Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and just fried him up and threw him at everybody, because he's a fucking menace.
Yeah,
somebody needs to go over to Hawaii and stop him.
The problem with casting The Rock is that he's not Teth Adam. He's The Rock. Like,
right.
It's really hard to see him become the character because, well, I wouldn't call The Rock a bad actor. He doesn't really, like, become the character, Like, you look at him and you're like, it's The Rock. And that's the problem a lot of actors have as they become more and more recognizable. It's a question of character versus caricature.
Right. And like, I know that when you get really popular or you have a really strong personal brand, like, it'll start to get in like contracts where like you have to look like The Rock in the movies.
Yeah.
You can't not look like this guy, even though you're supposed to be playing so and so.
Yeah, like, what does Black Adam actually look like? Doesn't he have hair?
Yes.
In most
A little.
drawings he does, but there are a few like I don't think in the Injustice storyline he had hair. I think he was
Yeah.
bald in that.
Oh.
So
But
you know,
that's not the thing that I really have a issue with. Is he
Yeah.
talks like The Rock. He's not trying to do any sort of affectation with his voice, and Teth Adam is Egyptian, ancient Egyptian at that. Like, there's a I mean it might be a media affectation, but people from Egypt have an accent, as most
Mhm.
people do.
Yeah, yeah, I see that. And
And he's
you
just
also have like
talking like
the
The Rock, and they're doing some yuck spots where
yeah, like when they hit him over the head with like the
baton,
crowbar, whatever
yeah.
baton, and it bent, and there was like that quirky moment where they're like, "Oh," like you just put the Tim Allen "Oh" soundbite in there, and it's just perfect. It's like, yeah, okay, I think they're actually gonna do that in the movie. Um, and it's like you have these like
Mhm.
quirky like rock moments, and it's like I don't know if it fits the tone of the movie, and this is just the trailer. Like
Well, that's the thing is
the
we don't
tone of
know
the
what the
trailer is all over the
fucking
place.
tone of the movie is, and
Yeah,
it might be a lighter toned movie like Shazam was, but I have this feeling, largely because it's The Rock. I would feel a little less strongly about this prediction if anyone but The Rock playing this character. I have the suspicion that in their infinite wisdom over at Warner Brothers, they're going to push Black Adam to be a good guy for the most part in their DC extended universe, and then you rob Shazam of his
Yep.
most compelling villain.
yeah.
You rob DC of
Uh,
one of their more compelling villains.
Right.
the way,
He is a big bad.
Yeah, like
uh huh.
there's a whole comic series called World War III where Black Adam by himself pretty much causes World War III.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, this has the potential of like if it has the right background cast and the right story, it has the potential to be a really good setup to like a couple good movies, which includes like Shazam 2. Or it's gonna be one of the final nails in the coffin for the DC universe. I don't really know how they can come back from this if this doesn't take their universe in a direction that the fans are gonna like.
Whatever is
eh,
remaining of the universe at this point.
I mean, yeah, and it's like,
Not
fuck,
much.
I don't
I
know
think
what to
But
do.
they're
Shazam is still
pivoting.
in there. Like you can't.
Shazam
Yep.
is still in there, and he's like slated to get another movie, which I agree with. I'm fine with that.
We
Go
all
for it
had a
because
good
Shazam
time with
1 was
Shazam.
fine. Yes. And I'm like, I'm starting to think I'm like maybe Shazam should be like the bedrock of that you build your movies off of, and you start kind of formulating a new,
Yeah, work with
Avenger
that,
style
and
tag up with that.
you can fucking. Everyone knows Batman and Superman. They don't need their own movies. You can just have them weaved into a later Justice League project.
Hmm.
The other thing that concerns me about Black Adam is that it's not going to be just a movie about Black Adam as well. Is that we're also getting these three big characters in here that we've seen so far that we're going to be like, oh, I want more of that. I want more of Adam. I want more of Doctor Fate, and I want more of Hawkman. And like people are like, I want more of that story. They're doing the same thing that they did with Justice League, where they're 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 for their big tag team up movie, they're just throwing in like three
And Doctor
characters
Fate
that they're
is a
like, here
character
they are.
that people have wanted to get a movie for a long time. Just like
And
throwing
he
him
should
in
have
there.
and
Yeah.
you know what's probably gonna fucking happen is he's gonna have a standalone movie after that that's gonna be like mid. And they're like
It's gonna
doing
Probably.
be Doctor
reverse
Fate and
Avengers.
the saltyverse of sadness.
It's like come up with a Doctor Fate movie first, then if you want him in your Black Adam project, put him in your Black Adam project afterwards. So people are like, I'm gonna go to that and
Mhm.
see how the fuck Doctor Fate is gonna deal with
Or
Black Adam or something. I
now
don't know.
check this. Now check this. On another Earth where the DC cinematic universe like fucking worked out They did gangbusters.
That's
They
and,
did
hilarious.
and
great.
Marvel failed.
There would
to
be a
save
That's
it.
so
Batman.
funny.
Yeah, there would be a Batman Dark movie, right? Like how he does that in some of the animated movies, where you take the Batman, you put him in the supernatural noir um, storyline, right, where he gets to work with Zatanna and Etrigan and fight some magical villains and like Constantine.
We should
And
watch
that's
the
where you would put
Constantine
Dr.
movie
Fate
at
in,
some point.
and then you can segue into Dr. Fate.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
should watch the Constantine movie at some point.
That's
I think
that's good.
Keanu's in that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just the solo Constantine movie. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't even know what the DC universe.
that's from the same era of movie that our feature is tonight. This movie fucking arrived in the time capsule from 2005.
Good God.
Because I don't even know where the DC universe is gonna be was heading to.
They didn't either, so don't feel bad.
They just said, "Fuck it, we're just gonna make Joker 2." I
Yeah.
don't care. at
Yeah.
this point.
Not a trailer, but it is an announcement that the Joker is getting a sequel. How do y'all feel about that?
I
We're
don't
gonna-
love it
I'm living in a
on
society
principle.
again.
Um, but it could be good. I don't
The
know.
first one was a very self-contained story.
Yeah, and the
It
thing
wrapped up real nice with itself. I
the
don't know what a sequel's gonna bring to the table.
And I feel like if you do a sequel, there's going to be certain expectations that other characters appear. And I don't think that this version of Joker really can coexist with anything else in the DC universe.
Right. It's,
Yeah.
You know, the grounded the more grounded tone of the movie there's a kind of implication there that, you know, this is kind of a one-off thing. Like there's in a world that's closer to ours, in a Gotham that's closer to like Earth, whichever one this is, right, in the DC comics.
Yeah.
Like the Joker, he does his thing, and like he's in the movie, like the framing device is he has been arrested, and he is in the mental ward, and he does, I guess he escapes at the end, but like
And it's like clear that this is not going to be in any way associated with the Batman sequels, as they've shown the Joker in those movies, and it is not Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know. I mean, if they feel they have a story to tell, I'm fine with it. But I have a suspicion that Warner Brothers was like, this movie made $1 billion. Let's make a sequel.
now my best bet for a sequel, if they really, but they can't milk it. That's the thing, is you make the sequel, and it's a time jump or it's later, and you just do the Batman vs Joker movie, but it's from the Joker's perspective, where he's coming to the scene before Batman instead of after, right? Then it gets to be his story of meeting this Batman guy, this this crazy, scary vigilante hunter, right? And you get to play that story. I guess that's the closest thing I can imagine to like what a satisfying sequel would be.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of bent out of shape because I was really enjoying the fact that we were getting a like standalone movie, self-contained story, and it's like when the sequels are made purely off of the fact that the first one did good, it makes me wary. Like when you have a movie that's set up for just to be a solo movie, and you're not like planning on making a second movie, it hurts with the writing because like if you knew ahead of time that you were going to have a sequel, then maybe you could have put in a little bit of nuggets of gold in the first one to set up, you know, reasonings for the second movie, or you know, you could have saved some things for the second movie. But it's just purely based off that, and it's like, well, that means I don't know how good the second one's going to do because what if they're looking for a third one, right? You know,
Right.
and we're dragging it out, Joker 3, and it's going to be Batman and Robin teaming up now, and you know he's in and out of jail.
it would just be an inferior product. I mean, it's like taking the Hunger Games and making Hunger Games 4.
I mean, that would be crazy. Nobody would be
would
crazy
you
enough
even
to do that. How many years after Hunger Games ended?
1,000.
1,000 years. We're in a
When
post-apocalyptic
I was
era.
but a wee lad in the BC times.
Don't cite dark magic to me. I was there when it was written.
The BC era, which stands for before college.
The
Which
Hunger
was before
Games.
when I specifically was in college. That's right. The world standard needs to revolve around my entrance into Alfred in 2013.
That's a very Gen Z worldview.
The
world should
Ballad
revolve
of
around
Ricky
me.
Bobby. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby is set to be what a great movie. I think it's a prequel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. But we got other trailers we gotta get through. We got 2 more trailers we gotta get through. Don't make me go see this movie. Ha! Got him.
Don't make me before you go.
This looks like a sad movie.
Yeah. John Cho's
I'm
in
gonna
it.
cry.
Oh, it's from the people who made Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah.
Okay. That
Good
makes a
people.
lot of sense.
You mean a family raunchy road trip? Well, not raunchy, but mature road trip movie from the people who made Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah,
Again,
no, it doesn't track.
Just real surprises here.
Yeah, everybody's getting to their comfort zone. And
Um,
John Cho's comfort zone is making us fucking cry.
it
guess.
doesn't look bad. I'll admit it looks decent. I don't know if I'll go and watch it, but there's a decent chance my girlfriend will want to watch this and we'll end up watching it.
Yeah, it looks like a neat little story. I mean, it's on Prime Video, so you won't have to go out to the old movie theater and get hassled by those annoying
focus group people.
survey people.
Did you
so
get?
you got that on
Did
your
you
side?
get got?
at least. No, I didn't get got. I
Okay.
think I got. I don't know why. I've never
got.
actually seen those people.
I've gotten got thrice, and it's happened every time I've gone to like when a movie opens on a Thursday. And I'm pretty sure that's just what it is. We're the first people to go see the movie.
Oh,
so like,
yeah. Okay.
Why the fuck did you go see this movie on a Thursday? And I say, I have no social life.
Yeah, I think I rarely go see him like right on a Thursday, but I'll try. How about that one? Next time we go and
you gotta go to the Thursday 7 showing because no one cares about
Thursday
if you
7.
like go to the midnight release. You gotta go to like the first showing, and it's got to be like a smaller movie. I don't think if you like went to Thor, Love and Thunder,
yeah,
that you'll have those people. But like, I came out of Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and they were there. Came out of Sonic 2, and they were there.
Okay.
And the common denominator in these is that it was max like 30 people in the theater.
Mm-hmm. It's
okay.
They sneak them in there. Yep.
All right, I'll keep an eye out next Thursday opening showing.
And I'm on their mailing list now to do surveys for like movie tickets.
That's cool.
But most of the time when I try to do the survey, they like enter in your demographic information. Sorry, you're not qualified to take the survey at this time. No one wants to know what a young white man has to say about anything.
We know you're kind of ready.
Yeah.
Man, reverse racism's weird.
It's not reverse racism, Jake. Racism is an omnidirectional force.
Where's the show me a force diagram for that, for racism?
It's just a free body diagram with like double-sided arrows all around it.
If you've got a snowflake and you apply a negative racism to it, how long will it take?
It's in the shape of a snowflake, the free body diagram.
Yeah, how long will it take to slide down a ramp at 35 degrees?
If the coefficient of friction is if mu equals 0.35.
Yeah, a wood angle block. Man, I miss physics. Sometimes
Jeez, I'm playing a
just
lot of games.
sometimes I just feel like I want to do some free body diagrams in my sleep, and
I got a text
uh,
that we had a game. Well, technically we didn't. My softball team technically didn't have a game Tuesday. We technically got rained out, even though we played because both teams showed up. The umpire didn't bother to, so we're like, "You guys just want to play?" So we did. And then I got a game tomorrow, and then after that I got a game Monday.
ooh,
So busy schedule. We've only played well, I guess to date we still have only played 4 official games, so we gotta get them all in.
Strong season.
Um,
You're getting in the reps.
make
Baby.
sure you pack your blue blood.
yeah,
Don't
prey.
want to get hungry out
Yeah,
there in the field.
you have to find some prey because you're a predator. It's Predator in the before times. I still think this movie looks kind of neat, but it has every chance to get fucked up. Although Disney has proven to be pretty okay with its 20th century offerings. Even if you did not love Free Guy like some people did, it was a pretty good movie. They got the guy who directed 10 Cloverfield Lane to do this. So it's got a chance to be pretty decent. And, this feels a lot more like a Predator movie. It's a few people being hunted by a predator that they got to figure out who's way more advanced, and they got to figure out how to fight him. But this time there's the extra hook of these are like real primitive weapons, which maybe that's the advantage they have over the predator.
Maybe
Do a Forever War type thing where the kinetic shields only block weapons that go a certain velocity. But one of my favorite sci-fi books is called The Forever War. It's written by a guy who was a Vietnam vet and deals a lot with a lot of cool sci-fi concepts like time dilation and whatnot. And the aliens in that it's called the Forever War because it takes place over many hundreds, even thousands of years, because the travel back and forth between Earth and the alien planet and all that, you have to do FTL travel, which introduces time dilation. So the soldiers fighting the war only age biologically 5 years or whatnot, but the world around them advances several hundreds of years, and one of the later and so the technology they use for war also advances. And one of the final acts, the aliens they've developed this shield, the humans have, that stops all projectiles that go over a certain kph. So when they set up the shield, they have to fight with spears and bow and arrows. It's pretty neat idea. So I envisioned something similar for this.
Yeah, it also seems like the Predator is actually kind of using maybe possibly some more primitive.
Yeah, it would make sense, right?
Well.
Because
yeah,
the Predator planet presumably has advanced in technology at the time between the Native Americans in the 1980s.
I mean, it seems like the only thing that they have, and we don't get a full shot of it. We only see the the classic 3-dot targeting system and the cloaking device as similar technology, but
it seems like they have the fucking wrist blades things. I thought I saw that too.
I don't know if we've seen shields before in the past, so we see shields as well. There might be a split second where we do see that, that wrist blade thing. So we'll probably see that as well. It seems like his helmet's different too. It's not like it seemed like in the old Predator he had maybe a more techy helmet. So maybe it's not as techy as maybe a bone helmet or something like that. And yeah, it kind of hits a lot of the same notes as the old Predator movies, where they got the glowing green blood and she uses mud to kind of evade some of his tracking. and the camouflage is going to be a big thing as well too. So my only concern is that they stick too much of that camouflage. We see a lot of Predator in this trailer, surprisingly, and I'm just concerned that they might in the movie stick to too much cloaking, and we don't get a whole lot in the actual movie.
You mean
Because
they?
that wouldn't be fun to us, I don't think.
Nah, they'd never go overboard on the don't use the special effects hour.
Because that, because
No.
that saves money, and
We all
that
know
scares
Hollywood
me.
is about spending money.
Yeah, they love to just spend copious amounts of money for the best viewing experience that the fans can have.
Yeah. They
It
always
was
do
very
things in the interest of fans, not in the interest of business. Jake understands
no,
this concept very well.
of course.
All right, well that's our last trailer, thankfully. So we can now
Phew.
move on to the follow-up. That
And
is
we started early.
we didn't fucking dick around with that either, and we still took a
No.
fucking hour to get through all those goddamn
Jesus
trailers.
Christ, trailers,
We
calm
were
down.
pretty focused. All right, in first place, once again, for weekend 22, June 3rd through the 5th, is Top Gun Maverick, down only 28.9%.
Wow.
Heard a lot of positive word of mouth about it. Peter and I will probably be out to see it this weekend for the first episode of Masterpiece Theater.
Yep.
It has grossed another $90 million over the weekend, bringing its worldwide total already to $600 million. This is why Tom Cruise is still in movies, people. He's like the world's last movie star where people will go see a movie because Tom Cruise is in it.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, a distant second, bringing in another $9 million, down 42.9% from last week. It's brought in $913 million worldwide, though, so it's not sweating that. The Bob's Burgers movie stays in third, down 62.6%. Hoof. I guess a lot of people saw it and was like, I mean, yeah, you don't have to see in the theater.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure. I feel like even 22 million, or if it even goes up to like 30 million,
It's sitting
I
at
feel like that will
26
cover
right
it.
now. Yeah, I feel like that's probably. I mean, I can't imagine.
I know
that
it's
movie.
an animated feature, and those are usually really expensive.
But
Um,
I think like a 2D animated is not as expensive. I would say it probably cost about $15 million to make. Bob's Burgers movie budget revealed. Oh Jesus! Reportedly a $60 million budget.
Jeez.
all right, well that changes things.
Bobby.
Well, I guess they're having to bank on it selling views of the show. That's got to be the move.
Yeah. So
Oh, sure. I
that
guess.
doesn't come from a very reliable source. It was taken from a website called Film Ick, which has a history of making up such statements about movie budgets. As for what it did cost, I'm reading this off of Reddit, so it's true. Can't give an authoritative answer, however. I do think it can make an educated guess. Instead of comparing it to the Simpsons movie, we might be better served comparing it to Beavis and Butthead Do America or South Park. Bigger, longer, and uncut. Both of these movies cost roughly $20 million to make, which is about a third of what the Simpsons movie cost. I would guess it's probably around $35 million based on those figures. I would have thought it would have been less expensive. But, I mean, calculated risk, I'm sure it'll do well. It's probably already profitable, right? Because, they sell the streaming rights off, or it brings in Disney Plus subscribers to offset the cost. Oh, I got to catch up on Kenobi.
Kenobi.
It's fine. A review coming on that thus far. It's fine.
Yeah.
The Bad Guys drops down to, or is up from fifth actually, only down 23.8%, $3.34 million. That has hauled in $220 million worldwide. Downton Abbey: A New Era, 3.196 million, down nearly 45%, and leaving a good handful of theaters. That's brought in $81 million worldwide. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, which is now available for your viewing pleasure on pretty much every VOD dealer out there, and I think it's coming to Blu-ray like this week or next week. Down only 18%, and in 247 more theaters. Hanging on to that sixth spot with another $2 million. It's rebounded quite nicely and has clawed its way back up to $80 million. And opening in seventh, our spotlight picture for this week, though much anticipated. We've talked it up for weeks now. It's Vikram.
Yep.
$1.77 million.
We've asked for it.
Yes.
We've been demanding it.
I will read the synopsis of Vikram. Amar is assigned to investigate a case of serial killings. When Amar investigates the case, he realizes it's not what it seems to be, and following down this path will lead to nothing but war between everyone involved. Oh, man.
You were telling me that it's a Bollywood movie about a cop?
Oh my god!
Never been done before. I just want to
drama.
post the this fucking mini thumbnail of the cover art here that they have on IMDb, which is just
It's
the
so smart.
title character with two guns, which look like paintball guns.
Here.
Vikram,
All right.
man,
Well,
that's crazy.
none of
They're
that
just trying to be like
matters.
America.
Despite the multitude of negative reviews that we were able to find on this, this movie has a 9 out of 10 on IMDb, and no other outlet has bothered to give this a score. So, for all we know, this is the greatest movie of the year.
It might even be as good as Kashmir Files.
It might. It just might sniff that rarefied air. Ajit MRND certainly thinks that this is Kashmir Files worthy. He gave it a 10 out of 10. Nice movie. Very enjoyable. LCU. Don't know what that means.
I'll see.
With these kinds of movies and storyline ellipses, coming up with sequels or prequels are endless. Another ellipses. Surely expecting for another LCU movies. Is this like a cinematic universe?
I'll see.
This movie has lots and lots of very, very violent scenes. Ellipses. What is it with Indian reviewers and just using ellipses instead of a single period?
Oh, I don't even think that's limited to Indian people. That's also a Gen X and Boomer move. That's how I know. Like, I can always call people out when they use excessive quotation marks, all caps, and ellipses. I'm like, you haven't. You were started writing when in the 80s or earlier.
Yeah, but like the past two Bollywood movies I've seen, have just been rife with it. Lots of very, very violent scenes, but it's necessary for the story. Ellipses. Very enjoyable movie. Ellipses. Production team should consider bringing these movies, Kahati and Vikram, to OTT platforms, cause, COZ, people should see them before they watch the next upcoming LCU movie. Ellipses. 4 clapping hands emojis. Awesome music, ellipses. Mind-blowing action sequences, ellipses. Awesome direction, ellipses. Well-maintained phase, ellipses. Edge of the seat entertainer. Thanks a lot, LK, KH, FF, VJS, and of course, Surya, ellipses. 3 prayer hand emojis. You ready for the score? 1 out of 1 found that helpful.
Wow.
Someone
Bad
rated
enough,
that
kids.
as helpful.
Wow. I got twice as many who found this one helpful. From Rajiv, horrible movie with horrible direction and storyline. I'm gonna read this optimistically. I don't want you to think that Vikram's some sort of bad movie. It's got a 9 out of 10 on IMDb. We know because we're looking at it right now. Horrible movie with horrible direction and storyline. And then you go right into the actual review. Horrible movie with horrible direction and storyline. That was the title. Based on South India versus North India movies, Flag Bearers, this movie seems to be a hit, but all who watched know that it is a waste of talent and such collaboration between fine actors. 1. Illogical fight sequence when no one uses gun in fight with hero for most of the times but uses knife to get killed. 2. Director got lost where to keep Kamal Hassan's grandson in the whole movie, specifically in the last fight. So Fahad again brings him back in the den where Kamal is fighting for life with whole building ready to explode. 3. Kamal Hassan keeps his family on guard with of only one lady secret agent whose eyes can open one secret safety door. Scriptwriter took break every day to come back and put some stupid logic in whole movie. For Vijay Sethupti, with all his charisma and power, is scared of the one Rolex boss for his 60 plus family members, so he keeps fighting all movie for 2 lost container of supplies of his boss. Okay. 5. Fahad's wife in the movie can be easily killed because in old movie Kamal's wife also got killed. 6. In first 15 minutes, anyone can guess the the Kamal Hassan story is all bring told to distract the secret agent Fahad. Kamal Hassan is such a secret agent from 30 years, and he goes in places to do secret stuff where no one can trace him, like golf greens, red light area window, a big smiley face. Brilliant thinking. Such a waste of
slam poetry.
yeah, kind
Sure
of.
feels
You
like
can
it.
read a little bit like that. Such a waste of talent by poor direction, script writing, and bringing Surya in end for taking 15 minutes to lay grounds for part 2, which I think should not come out with these group of director scriptwriters. 2 out of 11 found that helpful.
Okay. Yeah.
Great.
Great. I looked at some of the 10 out of 10s just because I wanted to find the one that you saw. And I am a little bit sad that I can't live in the land of crazy emoji reviews.
Yeah,
It's so exciting up where you are.
it's
I like the one
it's a
that's
trip.
just called I like the review just called Rolex. One's so good. And the word Rolex appears nowhere else in that review.
Nope.
But
I was spoiled for
we're
some
here in the
choice
middle.
up here.
We're living in the middle world. And this is where we break. This is where we show what these guys are really made of. Because hearing some of these reviews, you might think that we're making fun of how some of these reviewers are not quite the most eloquent, the most rhetorically strong.
To be
in
fair,
writing.
that is a large portion of the humor of this segment always, not just for these kinds of movies.
True. It is true. And so, the 5 out of 10s, the middle guys are here to break that. We're here to show you that it's, a different
Tell
level.
me there's a Ferguson 6 in here somewhere.
No, I as much as I wish, but we've got this one from Ahmed Rock and Blues, 6 out of 10. Over the top, fun in parts. Watch Kaidi for entertainment. This movie should be called Kaiti 2, and N. Barivu should claim more than half of the director's remuneration. It's a relentless rain of hand-to-hand combats, gunshots, stabbing, and pyrotechnics. So relentless you get bored. Lokesh takes a lot of inspiration from the indomitable South Koreans. You will see the centenary celebration wrecking scene from The Outlaws in Vikram. Here, it's a marriage function, ruined using some gas emitting gizmo. By default, you get thumping, bone jarring BGM, which will total your eardrums. Most of the well choreographed fights happen in darkness, and it cuts half the thrill on offer. Some really exciting moments come from the most unexpected people, like Agent Tina. For high caliber performers like Fafa, VS, and the Kadavul, the assigned roles are cakewalks. Almost every character has something to do, and the credit goes to the writers. Hope the film does some big numbers. 1 out of 6.
All right. Well, AK Education dash 91270 has a 10 out of 10 review of Vikram. Vikram hyphen the beginning of Loki's cinematic universe LCU. Okay, so I guess that's what the LCU is. Loki's cinematic universe. All three, Kamal Hassan, Fahad Fasali. I want to point out that there are not spaces between the first and last name. Vijay Sethupathi dominates and drives the whole movie, which they kept us on edge of the seat. Best in continuous action and violent sequences, made in recent times better than KGF, less than Symbol Vikram. Loki's writing, screenplay, direction makes us shocks, twists, goosebumps, repeat, waiting for his multiverse connections, and Anirudh Extraordinary's stunning a Hollywood range BGM, wild eyes emoji was unbelievable. Young Enruhi was proud of Tamil cinema, again, no spaces, and Gem for Indian industries, no spaces. Action packed, no space between action and packed. Must watch thriller, totally made for theater experience. 27 out of 40 found that helpful. Somehow. Could glean anything from that.
Well, soon. What is this?
That's their only
Sunil?
review, by the way. And they've been an IMDb member for 1 month.
I'm sure a lot of these people have just one review on their belt. Yeah, the last one I read was IMDb member for 2 days, only review.
Ooh.
So
They're showing up
they
for
were
this.
compelled.
The bots are out.
Creating accounts
Yeah.
to talk about.
Yes,
this movie.
that's it. The bots aren't out. The people are so impassioned by this movie that they're creating IMDb accounts.
So Sunil Daswani said, 1 out of 10, totally illogical movie in all capital letters. 1 out of 10, warning, spoilers. Vikram had a fairly good story, but it was totally buried by mindless action and totally illogical sequences. Kamal Hassan, at 67 years old, was indulging in action sequences with vigor, energy, and supreme strength.
He's pulling the Charles Bronson.
As if he were in his 20s to early 40s. That's a really big gap. Well, after receiving such heavy beatings, he miraculously recovered relatively unscathed to beat the villain almost to a pulp. Although he is an outstanding actor, his role in this movie did not require him to display his acting prowess, but just indulge in endless and mindless action sequences and pretending to be drunk, with the exception of Amar, who was quite competent, and the maid, who was brilliant in her action scenes. The acting was extremely bad, with Chandan being particularly useless. All in all, this was a film that was made for the masses with the tagline, quote, leave your brains at home. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 8 found that helpful.
Classic. And finally, we've got a 6 out of 10 from Subrahmanism. We got rating agencies and the film viewers. 3 of our relatives and friend has seen the movie. they have all rated the film as average only, whereas many rating agencies and critics have acclaimed the film like sky high. Such a huge gap of opinions is
You
just
know, they were a big
intriguing.
fan of that movie with Kurt
Sky
Russell
High.
and Bruce Campbell.
I love Sky High.
It seems the film promoters have done an extremely good job in molding the critical opinion. 1 out of 2. That's right. We managed to sneak in a fake. the 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 praise is fake.
Yeah.
Don't believe
Don't believe the other reviews.
don't believe the other reviews. We can always find one.
It's a tradition. Truly is. I accidentally closed out of Box Office Mojo, so unless either you have it up, I'm going to need a quick second.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At number 8, we have Sonic the Hedgehog 2 coming up or going down one slot, knocked down vigorously by Vikram, bringing in a whopping 1.7 million, bringing its grand total to 393 million worldwide.
Ooh, it's got a shot at 400.
It is down 30% and going slowly out of theaters like a hog in the night. Coming in at number 9, The Lost City, The Unkillable, 11 weeks in the box office,
I think we gotta watch this movie.
1.36 million, going down 34% and slowly dipping out of some theaters. Grand total worldwide, 185 million. And finishing off at the lowly 10th place, Crimes of the Future, with a limited release in 773 theaters, bring in 1.117 Master Chief million dollars, with a worldwide total of 1.46 million. I'm guessing that's Canada. Canada probably brought in those
Canada.
300,000. So Crimes of the Future, those are rookie numbers. Get those up, but maybe they're pulling the old A24 move and they're gonna creep up to number 1 slowly but surely after.
Well, they are
Crimes of the
only in
Future. More
700
like
theaters.
Crimes of the Box Office. Am I right?
Speaking of Crimes of the Box Office, we'll get a little Morbius into this later. Morbius was re-released into theaters. I don't know if we talked about this
They
last
tried.
week.
No, this is kind of the impetus for why we were doing it this week.
Yeah.
Because I think the window had passed for meme relevance,
Yeah.
but then they brought it back from
The
the dead because
Morbheads.
they thought the memes meant people wanted to see it.
Who's the real Morbius? The fans that clamored for this to come back, or the Sony execs that okayed this?
I don't think anyone
just-
clamored for it to come back. People just made a lot of jokes about morbing people and it being morbing time. And
Yeah.
Sony execs who thought those were actually lines from the movie were like, let's re-release this.
I
We're
don't
gonna
know if
release
there's
this again. #NBD.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is an actual if they have an actual definition for morbing. It's used a lot in different ways. I'm really bad at using it because I'll put it on the end of everything, like this beer. It's morbin. It's really morbin.
It's more
and I don't think
phenomenal.
that's right. So I think they should make like a legitimate definition for morbing when somebody like overestimates like how good something's gonna do. Like, oh, I could totally like make that jump. Like I could totally jump over that like pillar, and then you scrape your knee really bad, and you just morbed it. You just morbed it. I don't know. Maybe just thoughts.
Morbillions.
Morbillions.
Yeah.
Morbius
So,
Freeman.
The reason why I bring it up is Morbius came in at number 14, up from 22 though. Notable. Bringing another $310,000 over the weekend.
Ooh-wee.
It was brought into another 1,000 theaters. Its gross total worldwide was 163 million, more billion dollars. It's rated PG Morbius for all you have to be Morbius or over to watch it. And how long until this meme dies? Because I'm ready. I'm ready to get this brain worm out of my head. It hurts.
Never.
It
You'll
really
never be
hurts.
rid of it.
Nintendo DS Morbius being released in 2023. I just have fucking Morbius memes on Twitter. And I hate it.
Yeah.
I
So
hate it.
I'm sorry. This is excellent. This is wonderful. Side note, we're looking at stuff for this movie. And we're talking about the memes of this movie. And shit's getting freaky. Cuz apparently I've already reviewed this movie. I'm morbed into the past to review this movie.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
That is so close to being
That's so
your
close.
name.
I dropped the S. I dropped the hard S and went into the past.
Turn around.
you
drop
knew
the
that-
S like Black.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
So I've found a review. Oh, Jared, you're a bit batty for me. This released at 6 a.m. the day the movie came out, and it is by Peter Hoskin. Some of you might know that as my name.
Those of you who hate the letter S, if it appears twice in a name, will know that is your name.
So maybe I should just read the script of this review instead of having my own opinion.
Yeah.
Oh lordy!
That
If the
person
site
was-
wasn't just straight cancer.
Yeah, I feel like my computer might have a autoimmune disease now, much like Morbius. All right, let's
Hey.
move on to gaming news. We'll be quick because we want to get to Morbin. Hades mod adding God of Music Apollo looks really good, almost like DLC, and the creators have said that there are more gods on the way. In case you missed 2020's hit roguelike Hades, where you been, brah? Play it. It's great. It's filled to the brim with gods and goddesses from Greek mythology, and you get to know each of them pretty well as you die over and over again, and as you try to fight your way out of hell. Most of the big names are there: Athena, Dionysus, Zeus, and more, but there were some other gods left off the cast list, including Apollo, son of Zeus, god of the sun, twin brother to Artemis. A couple years later, that blasphemous mission has been rectified. Thanks to this fan mod, you can add the God of Music to your next Hades run, published by Alex Kage on Nexus Mods and spotted by Reset Era. The Olympus Extra mod aims to expand on the pantheon Hades already provides. Though Apollo is the only addition at the moment, there are plans to include Hera, Hestia, Hephaestus in the lineup. Right now, Apollo is the focus. So he's got some new powers as well. God's boons are keepsakes to be collected as you play. Additionally, there are duo boons for Artemis, Ares, Aphrodite, and Demeter. If you hit the chamber, we have to choose between Apollo's power. Yeah, we know how dual boons work. Just tell me what his boons do. And the article doesn't tell you what the boons do. All right, fuck that. I'll have to play it myself. Call of Duty is bringing the $70 game to Steam. Call of Duty is back on Steam with Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 too, I guess.
Yeah, the remake. I don't even know if it's not even considered a remake because I think Modern Warfare had like a different storyline than the first one. So
I
like
don't fucking
it's
know.
a parallel line or different. Yeah, it's like. Look, part of me is kind of tickled pink with Modern Warfare 2, and part of me is tickled some other color. I don't want to buy another Call of Duty game. I'm really
Well,
kind of
I mean, you'll
miffed about.
be. At least you won't have to use battle.net.
Yeah, I playing like Warzone, it's just really clear that even though it's a free game, doesn't necessarily make it fun.
Hey.
Kind of.
We got a lot of people in our organization that really like Call of Duty. We can't be too hard on
Oh
them.
no! Well, I mean they play the multiplayer, so they bought it. So like the free side of Warzone is I think completely different than Call of Duty. I think like getting Call of Duty would include that storyline. I mean, I really enjoyed the Modern Warfare storyline.
I, in
And
fact,
that
bought
playthrough.
Modern Warfare 3 simply to see
Yeah.
how it ended because I was done with Call of Duty after Black Ops.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the Modern Warfare, the gameplay was fine. Like it was an okay storyline. It was just kind of short. Like the multiplayer was actually pretty fun. I did kind of enjoy that, but like, man,
Modern Warfare
there's
2
something
had
with like
some of the least balanced multiplayer ever.
I fucking loved Modern Warfare back in the day. That was my shit. I would play that all the time. So part of me is like, I kind of want to see if it's like kind of similar or how similar it is. Like if they bring back all the same guns and I'm just like fucking sniping people with the SPAS 12. Come on, let's go. But a part of me is like, oh, they probably retconned so much shit that it's not even like a similar game at this point. And I'm just wondering, when are you gonna run out of guns too? That's the other thing. Um, I don't know. I'll have to see if it's worth it if I have friends to play it with. And
Well, I'm sure
see,
you'll have a few within the
but
organization who will play.
yeah, $70. That's a steep, steep
That's a
price.
big ask. That is $10 more than I paid in 2011.
I should also note the only reason why I played Modern Warfare is because I bought, I think, my GPU and it came with a free copy of Modern Warfare, so it was free. I was like, yeah, cool. And I enjoy the multiplayer and I enjoy the Warzone mostly because it was free.
There's a new report out now that says the Fallout 76 development was plagued by crunch and poor leadership. From a Bethesda game? No.
Never.
I would do a spit take, but that would be gross.
Um, a new Kotaku report. So you know the investigative journalism is just top notch. On the game's development may shed some light on why interviews with current and former employees of Bethesda Softworks and parent company ZeniMax revealed development process that was light on leadership, heavy on crunch, and hindered by inter-studio rivalries. The report
Heavy on
says
crunch. Was that a drug going around?
It's a candy bar, Jake.
Yeah.
Oh,
And a
shit,
cereal?
my bad.
Dude, do you not fucking eat?
Wait, holy
Was
shit.
Crunch a cereal?
Well, Captain Crunch.
Oh, Captain Crunch. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, oh no.
What the fuck?
I looked up Crunch Bar cereal, and I think it existed at one point.
I mean, you had the
Maybe.
Oreo O's and the Cookie Crisp, so...
Yep, yeah,
Yeah.
it exists. But my first, the algorithm gave me the ads, and the first ad that came up was "Poop Like a Champion, Healthy Choice, Ultra High Fiber Cereal."
They're targeting you directly.
You know,
Have y'all
Peter, you might
taken a
want to
walk?
clear your cookies. That's a pretty specific targeted
yeah,
ad.
no, that's what it's for. It's clearing my cookies.
Have y'all taken a trip down the cereal aisle just to see what monstrosities there are out there? There's like powdered donut flavored cereal. There's
Oh, yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts flavored cereal.
See, Jake, I
What?
shop at Aldi, so I don't get
Oh,
all the
okay.
crazy cereals. I just get off brands of like now cereal technology is advanced such that it's cheap to manufacture off brands of like previously premium cereals like your Reese's Puffs and your Cookie Crisps. Those are now
Dude,
available in your local
Mhm.
Aldi.
Yeah, due to the edible cedar chips that are now provided, it's like 90% of the cereal is just the cedar chips, and then they add a little bit of sugar
Mhm.
and red
Oh,
dye
this
40.
one. This one fucking here. I'm seeing this thing for Lucky Charms clusters. So it's the non-marshmallow ones are now in like little clumps, which just tells me they didn't add the
Wait.
flock. They just said, let's not add the flocculent powder during the processing. We'll let them clump up and we'll sell it as its own product.
They're selling the worst part of Lucky Charms.
Well, no, there's still the marshmallows in it,
Oh, okay.
but the non-marshmallows are no longer also in shapes. They're just poop chunks.
Poop chunks. Love it. Clusters.
I also see the Dunkin' the
You know,
Dunkin' Donuts caramel macchiato breakfast cereal.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna take what might be an unpopular stand. I think I would prefer the Lucky Charms clusters to standard Lucky Charms. It'd be easier to get the actual cereal bit on your spoon.
Probably. I'm such a Norman when it comes to like cereal. I'm a very simple man. I got Wildberry Kicks, Reese's Puffs, and like normal Kicks cereal, and those are my
there's usually
ish.
a box of Reese's Puffs that makes it home with me. I
Yeah.
don't often eat cereal, largely because I am lactose intolerant. But I have recently gotten to almond milk, which has
Yeah,
opened up
almond milk is
cereal.
a dream come true.
Well, except for the fact that it has got like a tenth of the nutritional value of like regular milk. That's the thing that's really tough to replace about milk
Eh.
is the protein. And I guess there's a fair amount of calcium in almond milk.
Yeah,
But almonds
but
are
it doesn't make
also
me
the
shit
reason.
my fucking brains out at least.
Well,
So that's
that's
good.
true. I
I
can
feel you, buddy.
I can
I
I
feel
can survive.
there was a period of time where I was lactose intolerant. What is it called? In denial, and
Oh,
and
were
I
you
was
just
just
trying
like,
to power
no,
through it?
no, I'm not. It's the cereal. Like I just bought off-brand Captain Crunch cereal. Like
I
that's why
still
I'm dying.
I still power through it a lot of
Oh
times.
yeah, there.
And my girlfriend is the worst about it. She like does not respect my lactose intolerance one bit, so she'll feed me all this dairy and then complain about how stinky my toots are. I'm like, you knew the risk.
Yeah. Well, I
Mm.
mean, hey, yeah, especially if she's feeding you. It's a different story when I'm making dinner and I'm like making a heavy dairy dinner and like Kristen turns around and says, "What are you doing? You're going to hate yourself in like 30 minutes." And it's like, "No, shut up."
No.
She gave me a milkshake, and I'm like, this is not going to end well for you. Why would you do this?
You don't want to see
Yo,
the
it's so
closing
true, though.
parentheses on this one.
Alright.
I'll bring something to the yard.
And
I have a couple gaming stories just real
Okay.
quick. But there is the Last of Us remake that's coming out. They announced it for the PS5, but they also did a sneaky little announcement for the PC. So we're going to be getting a remake for the PC. Last of Us Part 1 with young Ellie. That's cool.
I have the Last of Us somewhere down here in this basement for the PS3. I bought it like a year and a half ago with the intention to play it during the pandemic, but I forgot to play it. So I might just wait for the PC version.
And now the pandemic's over. Right? Right? We're not back to masks at Northrop. The other cool thing, real quick, the Grammy Awards added a dedicated video game category. New category will recognize excellence in soundtracks created specifically for or as a companion to a current video game
So,
or other interactive media.
Can we I guess not posthumously, but can we after the fact award Hideki Naganuma his Grammy?
Yeah, they should. They should. They should go back like an all-time.
Like,
should have
he
a
at
little- for a
least
couple
deserves a
years.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah,
Come on, boys.
honorary
Give one up
awards.
for the funky fresh man.
Funky fresh beats. All right, that's all very cool, but as a great philosopher once said, it's Morbin time.
Fuck yeah.
I know a
Best.
lot of you probably expect me to come on here and shit all over this movie. But you know something? You're absolutely right. This movie was fucking terrible.
Da, 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 da.
You know what? I'm gonna be a contrarian and say this was the best movie they ever made. Ha-za-za. We got Jared Leto coming in here as Dr.
This might be the best
Michael
movie Sony's ever
Morbius.
made if it wasn't for Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and
really,
the other Spider-Man movies, recent ones.
Yeah, it's true.
I do gotta say, it's Sony. You know, you can like change up scripts, right? It doesn't all have to be Venom and like damsel in distress. Good guy doesn't want to fight.
Well, no.
And then he's
The
forced to fight.
damsel is not really in distress. They just murk her very quickly.
And then he turns her into a Morbius.
So I
Spoiler-bius.
I said to Peter that this movie like fucking arrived in a time capsule from the year 2005. Like, superhero movies at this point are a solved problem. There's a well-established formula for making a good superhero movie. It exists. It's out there. Sony,
The
on the
company
other
you're associated with has been doing it for a decade.
yes, Sony, on the other hand, for drawing inspiration from Morbius, didn't look to the present, didn't look to the future. They looked to the past. They looked to Ghost Rider. They looked to the theatrical cut of Daredevil. Elektra. This is that era of superhero movie where you went to the you kids don't know what it was like. You went to the theater not because you expected it to be good, but because you were like, well, if I go to see this movie, maybe they'll make a good one someday.
You had to make the sacrifice of going to see X-Men 3.
We fell on that sword. We walked so you fuckers could run.
We willingly went to watch fucking the Wolverine.
I paid money, real money, at a time where I had no money to see X-Men Origins Wolverine. I did this so you could get Deadpool. I expect my thank you card in the mail.
Yeah, I really maintain, as you know, my kind of through line take on a lot of movies is that they are products for people to watch, but they are also tech demos for the studios to flex their particular skills. With Warner Brothers, I always harp on they always put a lot of music in because they have the old tunes of Kama Looney. Lots of music rights. That's been historically their thing. Sony has been their movies have been traditionally vectors and vehicles to show their tech and their equipment. And I think that this is no exception. This movie got to where it was because they had three things that they wanted to demonstrate and do a big proof of concept. And I don't know if they worked that well. One was the deep fake face change technology, which allows Michael to turn into Morbius. He goes from Michael to Morbius.
Yeah,
so
the whole
there's
concept of them being able to change their face like that really kind of lessens the burden of being Morbius, doesn't it?
Put your Morbin face on.
You mean that wasn't like
wasn't method acting?
Like
that wasn't part of Jared Leto's
that
method
wasn't
acting?
Jared Leto actually like changing his face into that?
I don't think
so.
so.
I
Sorry
was
to
a visual
disappoint.
Sorry.
I heard Jared Leto he would method act as a bat for weeks on end and just flap around and bite people.
He got rabies to get the role.
Yeah.
He just showed up with a bat on the Sony backlines. Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Just put him in the movie.
He's got he shows up with the doctors and he tested positive for Lyme disease. So that's Tech 1. Tech 2 is the blender vapor trail effect. Which, Jake, do you remember that that blender trailer from a while ago? It was like their tech demo where it was the break dancing person, but they overlaid the different kinds of like effects over it.
Oh yeah, vaguely.
Where so there's like the bubbles one, and it's like the dude made out of rocks, and like showing different textures and types of physics in Blender over this thing of a person dancing, and and they saw that. I feel like the execs saw it and they're like, we could do that in our movie. Let's do that. Let's show our visual effects because that's how they fly. There's an inexplicable smoke trail whenever they fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more pronounced than others too.
Yeah.
There was also the smoke trail that like it changed with the color of the clothing that they were wearing.
I don't know how you get that from injecting a bat's blood.
I don't know why that worked like that.
Yeah,
I also there's a lot of questions I have.
There's no like radioactivity or cosmic rays involved in this. It's literally just you put some bat blood and some human blood and spun in a centrifuge and injected it into your spine, and somehow that made you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through the things that I liked. I liked
Well,
and
I
loved
gotta
about this
lay
movie.
down my third before
Oh,
I'll let you go.
okay,
I'll lay
all
down
right,
my
yeah.
third, and that is
Sorry.
the ad for Sony's color dynamic range, because I don't know if you noticed, but the color choice in this movie is fucking inexplicable. What should have been a a pretty consistent like gray green like dark vampire color aesthetic
Mhm.
is inexplicably broken up with like the opening segment being neon teal and pink. The bright oranges of his prison jacket, the subway, which is fucking autumn and lime green colors, and then the there's one scene later on where he's just like he's in his study, and it's like consistent, good color choices. Dark olive greens, dark blues, blacks. A color palette that you would find in a movie. And then there's this shot, and in the background is this bright fucking red ladder, like it's fucking Schindler's List. But instead of something important, it was the Morbius ladder.
The Morbius's gun. That was the Morbius's gun. That was a ladder that he used to climb to such levels of cinematic prosperity to come down on. Is this David Tennant who's Lucian?
It's Matt.
Or Matt? Oh yeah, Matt. Oh
Matt
whatever.
Smith or
It's the
something
other
like
doctor.
that.
Yeah. So my only explanation for that possibly of why the color was this way in the movie and why they decided to use these colors in a vampire movie was just to say, look, our Sony cameras this will look really good on your Sony TV with your Sony effects. Buy our Sony products.
On our Sony Bravia subscription service.
Buy a new Sony movie TV and
Maybe
you
you
get
also
one
noticed
Morbius free.
Maybe you
Bravia
also
Core.
noticed the Cheez-It product placement
I
and the
love the
Coca-Cola
Cheez-It.
product placement.
I noticed the
Yeah,
Coke. I
can't
did
forget
not
those.
notice the Cheez-It.
I saw the
Um,
Cheez-It.
This movie, I think there's a movie in here that's a gay romance between Michael and Milo.
Michael and Morbius.
Or Michael and Morbius.
Well, knowing Jared Leto, yeah.
But they didn't have the courage to go down that road. This is, like I said, this is a superhero movie out of time. It's very much reminiscent of a Ghost Rider type movie. I think this is the worst superhero movie I've seen since the theatrical cut of Daredevil. Things move at a fast pace and they just kind of happen. There's not any time for the impact of events to feel.
It's so fast.
And they don't like allow for any emotional connections between characters to be like felt by the audience, except between Michael and Milo. So like you weirdly only care about these two characters that are fighting each other for a good portion of the movie.
Milo is not his real name.
No, it's not. He just calls him Milo because like his original roommate was named Milo. And he's such an asshole that he calls everyone who sits there Milo, even though his name's fucking Lucian.
I would have been fine. Okay, all right. This was my one pet peeve with the movie. Everything was perfect except for this one thing. I got that Morbius called him Milo because of his roommate thing. Why did other people call him Milo? The nurse calls him Milo. The doctor who is apparently taken care of him in his entire life calls him Milo.
Sure does.
And there might be others. I don't fucking know, nor do I care. But like people who are important to him in his life call him Milo.
He calls himself Milo.
He calls himself Milo. How much of a cuck do you have to be to just, as a little boy, be like, guess that's my new name?
Well, when Michael Morbius gives you a name, you take it.
When your name gets
like how it works in Jared Leto's actual cult.
When your name gets morbed out of existence, you better appreciate what the good Morb has given you. You know,
the name Lucian got sent to Mars in 30 seconds.
Yo, fucking even IMDb is like, fuck you, bitch.
what? All right.
Matt Smith as Milo.
Yeah.
That's not a name. Can we
This-
just call him by his name? It's Lucian.
What does it say is the doctor's credit? Like, I think his name in the movie is Richard, but when I looked it up, it
Emil
just says,
Nicholas.
Morbius's mentor.
Oh, we have Jared Harris as Dr. Emil Nicholas
Yeah.
on IMDb.
Okay, maybe it was just something when I looked it up on the Google. Yeah,
Oh, it's
on
'cause
Google,
I-
it just lists Jared Harris as Morbius's mentor.
Yeah, IMDb quotes has the second quote after I shit you not. We joke a lot on the show actually, and like the quotes of this movie. Dr. Michael Morbius, it's Morbin time. Jumps off the roof and transforms. I cannot explain to you how like this meme has gotten this far that IMDb is allowing like fake quotes to be just like rampant on their website. He does not say that. It's important to note because I sat down next to two people who watched this movie, and the one person said, "Hey, you're joking about that, but do you actually know where it comes from, or like when he says it?" And I'm like, he doesn't say it. He doesn't actually say it. It's been a meme this entire time.
It's a tweet from a Yugi tuber. It's
Yeah, it was a tweet. Like he doesn't actually say it's Morbin time. That's the worst thing ever. If he actually said it's Morbin time,
I would
I don't
love this
think
movie
this-
if it
I-
went to the depths where it's saying it's Mormon time.
Don't
It
say.
becomes like a Pumaman type fucking cult classic for
See
me.
now, here's
you know,
the
maybe
double-edged
time
sword,
travel
though.
isn't too
Double-edged-
far around the corner because maybe this movie has a purpose as being like just a meme movie. Like if they were to remake it as a meme movie,
Don't say that, Jake. Don't put that evil into this world because it'll manifest, and we're gonna get the bad Sinister Six movie. And Michael Morris, he's going to say it's Morbin time and look at the camera like he's expecting the audience to
Peter.
fucking clap.
Peter, this has already happened. They're already filming it. Like, there's no way after this movie got memed this much, and we've clearly seen Sony does not understand memes, and I'm not putting it entirely past them that in the version of the movie that is currently in theaters, they had Jared Leto come back and ADR in It's Morbin time as he's jumping off the roof for the climax. But yeah, in the Sinister Six movie, if he's in it, that line's in it. Prepare your asshole. It's happening.
They're not going to be cheeky about it. They're not going to be tasteful. They're just going to put it in there because they're the same guys who made the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
So I also found out that the IMDb goofs are actually really fucking funny in this.
Sure.
So I want to take a minute to go through a couple that I found particularly
Morbius minute.
hilarious. A Morbius minute, if you will. So
Let me
in the
morb
beginning of
for
the
a
movie,
second.
you probably saw it in the trailer where he cuts his hand and he goes to attract bats to whatever, and to bite his skin or some shit. A doctor would know, but probably not a Hollywood screenwriter, that the palm of one's hand is a very stupid area to cut one's skin for blood. Many tendons and muscles run through there that are obviously important for daily activity life. Okay, cool.
That's a pretty like Hollywood trope though. Like in
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean, that's where the guy cuts his hand.
But Dr. Michael Morbius got acknowledged by the Nobel Peace
Can
Prize.
we talk about
Award
how Morbius's
at
claim
19.
to genius is that he replaces a fuse in a medical machine with the spring of a ballpoint pen? And they're like, this kid's a genius. He fixed the machine with a ballpoint pen, doing
And then he got his
something that definitely
doctorate-
would not work.
So then he got his doctorate at 19, and then he also invented a blood replacement.
Mm-hmm. Which artificial blood, which they never say this, and you have to like infer it, but like it's implied that the presence of this blue artificial blood has like entirely replaced natural blood around the world across the medical industry. It's like morally unconscionable to use regular blood.
Well, there are blood bags of regular blood still in
in
circulation.
his test lab. I don't know if that makes any difference or what, but
But the thing about
Like, the way he
artificial
talks
blood,
about it is like He's like, I'm gonna have to drink like people blood.
I remember, well, because he's not a killer. He doesn't want to be a vampire. That's central to the Morbius character in the comics, and they did a great job of representing that struggle on screen.
Actually, I think there's a different story here. Dr. Michael Morbius actually put so many blood banks out of business after his ruthless capitalistic ventures into the artificial blood industry, and that he now probably makes a good profit from. As we see in the post-credit trailer, he's driving around a pretty snazzy car.
He's driving his fucking Lincoln with a little black jazz band and his engine block playing Midnight Rider.
One other thing, one other goof. Morbius tells the lab owner that he broke the hand. I think they're the counterfeit bill makers. Morbius tells the lab owner, after having fractured his phalanges and other parts of his hand, to take ibuprofen and his hand will, quote, will heal just fine. Most physicians agree that non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs will delay the healing of broken bones.
Okay. Here's the thing, though. That was a bad guy, so he's giving him bad medical advice on purpose to delay his suffering. You see, this is the genius of the movie.
Jake, you've been out-morbed.
You've been out-morbed.
Yeah.
You fell for the classic blunder. You got out-morbed.
Some people get absorbed. Some people get
Milo puts on his shirt. His tie is seen knotted, and then knots it again.
Yes, I did notice that one watching it.
Bad Morbi.
And that super necessary scene where the bad guy, who just becomes a bad guy for no reason other than this movie needs a bad guy, they can't do a man versus self struggle. That would be too interesting. They have to have a clear antagonist.
Oh my god! I just have to express again. I fucking hate it when the bad guy has same powers as good
the
guy.
Mirror match. Yeah.
The only thing
I fucking hate the mirror match.
Is a good guy with a morb.
It's the only way you can stop it. Responsible morb owners know that we don't need more. We don't need less morbs.
This movie's
respect my Second Amendment rights.
Brother, this movie's brought to you by the NMA, National Morb Association. The only good guy with a morb is a bad guy with a morb.
You can take it off my cold undead body.
We need to start getting
my morb from my cold dead hands, which I will have because I am morbing.
I want every school teacher around America to have a morb in their desk, ready to morb the fuck out of any potential bad Morbius that comes through that door and threatens our children, our beautiful children. God damn it.
If you subscribe now, we'll give you a Morbon Lebe.
I'm going to tell you about this new Morbius supplement. It'll make you as fucking jacked as I am.
We have the finest morbiceuticals.
The Morbid Church, your hair, brother?
The Morbid Church will guide you.
Until I took Morbius Keeps. Morbius Keeps help you keep your Morbius hair for longer than expected.
For more than 4 hours and 22 minutes.
Weight gain, indigestion, diarrhea, morbid powers, increased strength, bat echolocation.
They fucking did fuck all with that echolocation. Like that's ripe. Like we saw in The Dark Knight how cinematic that effect can be, and they just did fuck all with that.
Okay, what are his powers? Were his powers he could float on sound? Like what?
Oh, in the movie or the comic? I don't know.
Can we talk about the train scene? I get it. Okay, look cool, sure, maybe. How was he doing it?
Well,
sound. He saw the air trails. And he flew on the chemtrails.
It pushes hair.
To be fair, this is a much better discovering your powers of flight scene than Wonder Woman 1984, where Gal Gadot just looks like she's.
There are no fake babies in this one.
Gal Gadot just fucking looks like she sat on a dryer for the first time.
However, when I watched this, When I watched Morbius, it felt like I sat on a dryer for the first time. A wobbly dryer. You know what I mean?
This is quite
Just
the
taking
movie.
just
See, the
taking dryer
Wishmaster
hits to the
took back every
beanbag.
one of his wishes except this one.
Yeah.
Everyone else renounced their wishes except Jared Leto. His wish
Was to
I
be
want
in
the
Morbius.
Dude, the entire time we were just making jokes about like, you want to see my bat penis? Just like, what else changed with this fucking guy? Because you ever see a bat hanging upside down and just have a full on
donger.
erection?
Yeah.
He's got a little bat penis.
I have not.
Look at my
sought out
Morbinus.
my Morbinus.
I'm Michael Morbinus.
Morbinus.
Oh, I gotta talk again. One of the other things I noticed was that the people shooting this movie didn't want to use. They didn't hire anyone who cared about using.
Jake,
a camera.
I don't need to see a fucking bat hard on.
But like in proportion to that mammal's body, it's like you think he's like just going around telling ladies like, I got
Like
a
a
bat
watering
hog.
can.
I got a bat hog.
It's like a fucking.
It's 20% the length of my body.
You look at Steve Brule. You look
yeah,
at
no.
Steve
So
Brule
the
and
people,
you think about what you did.
the Morbius camera guys, that classic crew, because I think what they did was they just shot the wide coverage, and they did all the camera work in post.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
there are precisely three. There are three camera techniques that I saw used. Maybe there were more, but they fucking blended in. They pushed in. They could push in on a character's face.
Usually
pull out.
accompanied with some time ramping, like in 300, to slow
Or
it
just
down.
talking. They'll just be in a conversation, and it will, unmotivated, for no reason, it will zoom in on like Jared Leto's face as he's talking about like his blood condition or whatever. And I'm like, no, you don't need to do this.
This is not conveying any new information.
They'll just be like having a conversation, and then the awful cutting will break the 180 rule, and my brain just like it like trips over an invisible step, and I'm like, oh, someone just walked over my grave. Morbius just walked over my grave with that camera cut. So you can go in or out, or you can kind of go in and also pan, like if you zoom into part of the screen of the full coverage, because you didn't hire a cameraman to do camera work, because half of this movie is made entirely in CGI. Bad CGI.
Yeah,
with
not
bad slowdown that has no, just slow down whenever. Just pick a moment during an action scene. Does it have to be an important?
They really wanted to show off how little money they spent on the digital effects here. So they really slowed it down and make sure you got a good look at these CGI atrocities that we're going to make up most of the climax. I think let's quickly shift into spoilers here just so we can give a rundown of this basic plot. So Michael Morbius shows up in fucking South America or something. He cuts his hand and a bunch of vampire bats fly out, and I guess they capture these bats, and he does some.
They don't show us how though.
No,
this is a 1-minute scene. This is a 1-minute opening scene. Cut to 10 years earlier.
Yeah, smash cut back to the orphanage where they're fucking children, and Lucien is introduced to Michael, who just renames him Milo because I guess there had been other people next to him before, and he called them all Milo because he's been in there a while.
The first one was Milo, and he died probably of their disease because they both have the rare blood disease where they need it. They said oil change. I beg you, for the sake of Blue Mountain State, change that name. These kids do not need an oil change. They need a blood transfusion.
Yeah. And keep in mind, during all of this, just generally through this whole movie, they are fucking slamming exposition in your face because there is no efficiency in the script, so they have to do everything one piece of exposition at a time, so they have to fucking run through it.
And they are moving. They are paid by the hour, I guess, over
I swear to God, at one point, like a nurse walks in, and you're like, and she's like, Dr. Michael Morbius, famous Nobel Prize-winning physicist and blood doctor who's sick from a blood transfusion disease. My boss. What can I
Your
do for you,
disease
Dr.
makes you
Michael
do that.
Morbius?
It's a good thing you're so smart, and you gave up the Nobel Peace Prize award that we just saw you getting.
You dissed
And now you're
the
here
king of
treating me, the
Sweden.
girl,
Yeah,
also sick.
with this.
I'm
blood
sure I'll come up
disease.
later.
Okay, yeah.
But she doesn't.
So they have a little flashback sequence, and then they randomly flash forward again to after, like, not to meet you where you are, but like they flash forward and then skip time at the same time.
This
So
is like a
later-
month later where he's at the Nobel Peace Prize. He's getting awarded, and he just walks out, I guess, to treat
They
this
don't do him
girl.
walking out. They cut to after.
Yes, they cut to him treating this girl. Like, you think he's standing up to accept his award because they're just, like, right before he stands up, they're just fucking blowing smoke up his ass about how great he is. And then you find out, oh, you turned down the Nobel Prize? And it's like, what?
Hey,
He was
dog.
up for a Nobel Prize?
Hey, dog, if you're crippled, don't go. Don't make it harder on yourself if that was your plan all along.
They had to
Seems
watch
like
him
that's
walk
just
off the ramp and
Yeah.
walk out of the building.
Slowly out his crutch.
yeah. Okay. My favorite cut of the movie, my favorite bit in the entire fucking movie was this part where we get introduced to current day Milo / Lucian, and he goes in, he's being a dick, whatever, yada yada. He can
He's
speak the
actually
guards
not really
language.
being a dick. He's being like that's the thing about Milo's character is they just make him evil out of no. Like, the one sort of scene you could say where you set up his villainous nature is when the kids steal his fucking love letter from Michael, and he whacks one with a crutch accidentally, and that's
he's
the
got an
impetus for his.
aggressive-
That's his aggression, his innate aggression.
So so he's getting his blood transfusion from the doctor, so the doctor like stuck with him, so he's got this emotional connection to him. That was fine. And then they sit down and he's like talking to him, and Morbius is just like, hey, let's take a walk.
Yes, this fucking
Why
scene.
would you do that? You're both crippled. You're being a douchebag, Michael, to yourself and your friend.
But
Let's
to
go
be
do
fair,
the one thing we're really bad at.
Right as you started your transfusion.
well, no, I think he was finishing up.
Oh, we just finished it up. Okay.
So I guess that would be the best time to do it while it's still fresh in him.
and then it cuts. I don't know where you're going with this, Kurt.
Well, I just want to say is that, like, the scene of them walking and talking
Yes.
is like,
Yes. Walking, quote unquote.
yeah, walking.
Hobbling. Fucking.
There's no movement
But-
in this crowd of people. They're just sort of like fucking.
And believe it or not, this is arguably the best scene in the movie because, like, the dialogue and character work here is, like, actually pretty good. These feel like people who are friends and have, like, realistic friend talks. Like, you know, Milo's saying some shit that's kind of clowning Michael, and he's like, I'm gonna turn around and hobble slowly over here. Like, dark humor, sarcastic. Like, I could see this. I believe these two are friends. But that's like the only character scene you get in the entire fucking movie. So enjoy it.
I thought there was one other good one, just to piggyback off of like good character scenes, was skipping forward ahead a little bit, like when he attacks the doctor and they have that back and forth, and like, hey, Lucian, like this isn't who you were. Like, probably the one person who could like make him see the light. And they had like a good back and forth, and I was like, that's actually pretty good acting and like writing.
But
Where was this the rest of the fucking movie? Because the rest of it's just exposition. Like when they're in the lab being like, I know what you're doing, Dr. Michael Morbius. You're making a bat serum to cure your incurable disease, and you're using bats to splice with your DNA. Stop! I get it.
I did not like.
He's gonna fuck a
graphic-
bat.
I did not like the graphic displays of animal testing in this movie. Like, where he's like just fucking cutting the heart out of the bat. It's like, that poor bat, and then he like fucking murks a mouse.
Well, I'm like, yeah, you killed your brother. What the fuck?
The most fucking cliche lab testing down. Specimen number 348 is going for animal testing with our thing, and he just
Yeah, he's like,
injects it, and it all happens in like 3 seconds. It's not like, all right, we're gonna set up this mouse.
With
Yeah.
3-day clinical
So-
trials, see what the side effects
so
are.
yeah, the
For those
mouse
of you saying
keels
boring, that's what
over.
the montage is for.
The
to
mouse
cut
keels
through
over,
time.
and then there's like a code for the little girl that we just met.
Oh yeah, the girl that he. That's like That's like a scene out of fucking Dark Place.
It is.
Right?
This is fucking Dark Place, and so he fucking runs.
Garth
to-
Morbengi's Dark Place.
He fucking runs to take care of this girl. And now normally if they're going to do, here's the spoiler, the mouse isn't dead. It comes back up. Normally if you're going to do something like that, you should leave the camera where you can see the mouse and like show a leg twitching or set it up somehow. Don't just have him attend to this girl and then the nurse turn around and the fucking, well, I guess she's also a doctor. Have the love interest, well, Milo's the real love interest. Have the girl turn around and see the fucking mouse up and be like, Michael, it worked. It's like, that, no, this is fucking, why? This is basic stuff, man. Leave the camera on the mouse.
So he plugs his blood stuff in.
After one trial.
He morbs for the first time.
They
you'll
have to
never
do it
forget
in
your first.
international waters for some reason.
Oh yeah, okay, we have to get there. Yeah, so yeah, he goes on international waters and he does the fucking thing and he morbs out.
Killing the convenient mercenaries
with
they
an
hired.
Awful action scene.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Visual nausea. And then he kind of just jumps off the boat. And you see he just in a wide shot. Don't consider his thought process. Don't consider like him. Like what his motivation is. Oh fuck! I gotta get out. I'm desperate. No, just wide shot. Just a little Morbius jumping off the boat, and then they cut. He made it back. Don't worry, he made it back.
No, they cut to the cops, don't they? They're talking to the to the
To
girl.
the investigation.
Yeah, and
And they pick up the fucking piece of evidence. I'm like, how do you not figure out who this is in like a second? Or like, oh, it's the assistant doctor to famous Nobel Dr. Michael Morbius. And here's his origami, which is like a trademark thing that Dr. Michael Morbius does and has with him all the time.
like it's fucking Heavy Rain. He's leaving the like he's the origami killer. He's leaving the fuck.
Yeah, whoa.
I see El Magical running around in the rain. Morbin! Morbin!
It's a good thing, Dr. Michael Morbius, we have fingerprint technology and we can check.
In this, yeah.
I like El Madrigal generally.
Just
I don't
because they let him kind of do his thing and like he almost I feel like he got to write his scenes almost.
I don't
Like,
I
really some of
didn't
his
I didn't
dialogue?
really I didn't get that sense. I think he was kind of wasted in this because he like his character really didn't do anything. They didn't use him effectively as like comic relief. Maybe because this whole movie's so comical. They didn't
Hey, maybe that's some kind of Morbius vampire, huh? You
He's
know,
like,
just-
oh, is
it
that
should have
holy
more
water you
one-liners.
have there? Like he doesn't like an Al Madrigal scene. I would imagine it would be like him with the holy water, kind of like flicking it at him in the corner to see if it like works or anything, instead of him just like putting a jar of water that we're told is holy water on the desk and his partner
Yeah.
going like, really, holy water? He's like, it's triple blessed. Like that screams Sony trying to write funny dialogue for the funny man they got.
God,
Yeah,
also
okay,
saying it's triple blessed like it's a triple distilled crystal head vodka through Herkimer diamonds. Like,
Which obviously is, you want that platinum 7X distilled.
Mhm.
It's over twice the distillation.
yeah, man. There was some bad jokes that were written here.
It's pretty bad.
So they inevitably in like Dr. Michael Morbius, when he does get like caught or like they're starting to like catch him after.
Well, I do want to make mention of when his powers first wear off because he's walking to his desk and then his knees just fucking turn to jelly.
Oh yeah, he just
Yeah, I
turned to
was
jelly.
wondering if he was like doing that on purpose to try to like hide the fact that he turned himself into this mutant monster thing. But nope, he just fucking he withers and dies if he doesn't get blooded.
And And then he proceeds to try to, like, without any help from anybody, try to do experiments on himself and almost kill himself. If it weren't for his best friend Lucian to come in at the perfect timing, to give him some blood bags, and conveniently steal the thing, which they do not show at all.
Mhm.
And it's just like I get, like, you don't have to show everything, but like that's usually something that's like kind of minor. They just show. But like I don't know, that was just weird too. Like you just like really have to assume, or I guess they're trying to like make the portrayal of like maybe he killed that nurse, but they don't give you enough time to like let it marinate.
They don't
They
give
kind of just like
anything time to marinate in
they
this
just kind
movie.
of throw it immediately after that, like, oh no, Lucian's the one killing all the innocent people.
And you just
Morbius,
find
you're
out
innocent.
that Lucian, like it's just the nurse, right? Like no one else gets
Just
killed before
well,
we
it's the
find out
nurse.
that Lucian is
Yeah,
like morbed himself,
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
which
It would
is
have been a
something
much
that
better way.
he knew how to do. Like I
He's
understand he saw the
my
serum,
Morbius.
but like it had to be injected into his fucking spine. Like how the fuck did he manage that by himself?
It is thugs who are, also have their nursing degrees.
Also, dude, sneakers with your suit, not a good
That
look.
was so awful, rough,
And they're not like
gross.
hip sneakers, they're like fucking comfortable, sensible shoes.
The sneakers we were fucking we were dunking on before this fucking cast some 100 years ago.
Yeah, and he
Um,
fucking he goes home. Lucian does after pretending to be Michael's legal counsel and revealing himself
for
to
1 minute, for like
yeah,
a whole minute, he gets to be.
and he leaves his cane behind, and that's the big reveal that he's taken the serum, which is something that we totally cared about, and now he goes
He
he
just
goes and he
turns into he
strips.
goes full asshole.
Yeah, he goes full on emo Peter from
It's
Spider-Man
it's
3.
yeah, it's also so fast that like he realizes what's happening to him. Like he's cured himself. He can get rid of it. He has to drink blood. It just like he just understands things too well almost. Where like we do see a little bit of like getting used to his powers
Yeah,
from
there's
the
none of that
from Morbius.
classic superhero like discovering the powers. They fight their first bad guy. Like his first fight, Morbius's first like fight, other than the Mercs who weren't really bad guys. In fact, he hired them. Um, fucking is against Milo. Like that's the
Yeah.
first fight, and then they split off, and fucking they split off and do their own fucking thing. He fucking dances and goes to a club and kills 3 more people. And then Morbius busts up the counterfeiting ring to get their lap. It's like this is all out of sequence, man.
Yeah, the fucking oh man.
And usually when you have I'll just skip ahead to the climax. So not
absolutely.
nurse, doctor gets
Um,
killed.
Should be
So
noted that they don't like have a fight ever in this movie. Like
they
the
slap
first
each other around a little bit.
the subway fight is they hit one move on each other and then
Yeah.
they talk and then Morbius runs away.
He morbs away. He
Morbs
uses
away.
more powers. Morbs away on the
They're
train.
just like and Matt Smith he's dancing again. He's just dancing among the corpses.
Yeah.
And then even the final fight, they don't even fight. But we'll get there.
Yeah, so Michael comes to find fake love interest dead, and he drinks her blood. I knew he was gonna drink her blood, but I thought they were gonna go super cringy, and she realized she's dying, and she like grabs him, and she's like, "Drink my blood, Michael." But they refrain from that. Yeah, Lucian, after becoming a morb, creates many masquerade violations. They're gonna come get him. And fucking they have the climax where they slap each other a bit. They go underground, and normally when you have the mirror match fight, the way the hero triumphs is that they've usually had their powers longer, so they win with their experience. But in this case, Morbius just fucking bat Kamehameha waves him, and the bats hold him down while he stabs the anti-venom into his fucking heart.
The Bat
That's
Kamehameha wave
your
was one of the
fucking
top 10
climax.
Kamehameha waves ever. And I'm just thinking about this practically. If a bunch of bats are flying at you, like I get there's a lot of bats, so like what are they doing though? Are they just booping their heads on you when they're flying at you?
Yeah.
You don't want to go
That would
up.
feel so weird.
You don't want to stand up into the bats.
Yeah.
Soft, getting softly pelted with little mammals of bats that you're just
Jake, you
controlling.
don't understand.
And it's like,
There's literally one morbillion bats in New York City. They chose after he defeats Morbius with the anti-morb potion. Then he releases the morbillion bats, and they cover the fucking night sky all over the city because
then-
there's.
Who's the real Batman?
He literally says
Batman.
Bat Radar in this to describe what echolocation is because Sony execs don't think that the general audience they're selling it to knows what echolocation is in your Bat movie.
A thing you learn about in 2nd grade.
That like, oh, bats, echolocation. That's like mice and cheese,
Yeah.
or dogs and raisins.
Yeah. And then mercifully the credits roll. This movie is only like
With again the neon teal psychedelic effect palette, which does not fit into the themes of the movie. You know, like how superhero movies usually end with something that kind of relates to what happened in it. But since nothing happened in this movie, and this movie had no aesthetic to it, they just said 80s neon. Yup. And we'll cut with the worst. This even fucks up the post-credit scenes. Because, well, I got to run down this because it's the first one in the mid of the beginning credits is Michael Keaton getting multiversed in here. And the first thing, he doesn't. So, first of all, he knows that he's been multiversed. 2, he doesn't. His first concern isn't with his daughter or his family.
it's
he
the
goes-
quality of the food, yeah.
Yeah, I hope the grub's better in this place.
I
Like,
hope the grub's
okay.
better.
Okay, character who had like a really good fleshed out character and like, you know,
Grub. No, he says grub too.
says grub.
Nobody's ever said grub in a movie other than just 1940s fucking writer boomer
And he kind of
piece
looks
of
around
shit.
with like a dumb look on his face, and then they escort him out. I'm like, okay, that's a
it's a
cute little
grub.
like, oh, someone warped into a prison.
These
That's
were
wild.
pretty long scenes too. Like
Yeah,
Because
that
they
make
were all
credit-
cut.
Yeah,
They're all
they
cut from the
should have
actual
been
movie.
in the fucking movie. It would have
Mhm.
worked
And
better
then-
that way.
yeah. And then the second post credit scene is
Morbius driving
his.
his Lincoln.
And then who shows up but the guy from 30 seconds ago
Yeah.
from the other post credit scene shows up.
In his suit, which he's had time to assemble.
Which, might I add, was only possible because of the Chitauri attacking New York from the
Yeah.
second Spider-Man movie. We
And
know
he
that.
was, that's the whole point.
Well,
yeah.
the suit looked a little different, didn't it? So maybe
Well, the first
he
movie.
had different materials to work with.
And that leads into questions of what universe is this? The universe where Amazing Spider-Man 2 exists, and they
Yes.
have the Oscorp. Did he like? He
It's-
called up Oscorp and be like, "Harry, I know you. You know me.
Well, I
Give
think
me a
Toombs used to work for Oscorp Aerospace in the comics. I think that's his origin.
Okay.
But they have
But they
just
didn't
some of
show
the
the
worst
Oscorp building
dialogue.
of this. Yeah,
No.
fucking.
That was
So-
the one. So that was the one thing is that they cut a lot of stuff from the trailer that we know was shot in this. In the movie, there was like a Spider-Man poster that was in the background of one. There was the Oscorp building. They kept in the Daily Bugle and the Venom reference, so we can allude that this is the Venom universe, the Andrew Garfield
Venom
universe.
universe didn't have Spider-Man.
No.
I think it did.
Well, not explicitly, because when in the post-credit scene for Let There Be Carnage, when he gets transported, and when he gets multiverse and sees Spider-Man, he doesn't know what that is.
Yeah. So I know they're trying to keep it ambiguous by
I-
keeping Venom on the
I just
west.
think that Venom hasn't
Spider-Man on
met
the
that
East Coast.
Spider-Man.
So maybe
Yeah.
this is Amazing Spider-Man universe.
Yeah,
while
because
they
Amazing
hash that
Spider-Man
out.
was in New York and like this movie, and then Venom was in San Francisco. So I don't really know why Morbius wouldn't know of Venom in the first place,
He
unless the
shouldn't.
Daily Bugle,
Like
But
that.
unless that Venom thing was a big news
That
article.
shouldn't have been. That should have been cut from the. That's the thing you should have cut from it.
Yeah.
But like the Venom reference beforehand, where with Al Madrigal being like, "Oh, we haven't had something this fun since that thing in San Francisco," which I guess
yeah,
they're federal agents because New York cops definitely
Oh,
don't have jurisdiction out in San Francisco.
yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. If
Mhm.
that, or maybe they could have easily tied it in, honestly, in a better way, where like they mention Venom to him when they're interrogating him, so then he knows of Venom, um, and that's how he knows the name at least. Um, but it's just I think they wanted to tie this into the MCU somehow, knowing that there's a multiverse, and they did not think it out properly, which explains the tombs getting poofed into the prison, which is not how they are describing this multiverse travel as. I wouldn't be surprised if you never see anything more from this
yeah.
Adrian Toomes meeting Venom thing.
I
They're going to
just like
cut
the
this.
idea. Yeah, I do like the idea that Toombs comes up to Jan Michael Morbius, and goes, "It's fucking Spider-Man's fault. We got to team up against Spider-Man." He's just like, "Who? What? I have a handle on my condition. What? Why are we talking? What is this?"
Yeah, and like I mean, obviously Spider-Man exists in this universe because when he mentions Spider-Man, Michael Morbius doesn't go who, and if Spider-Man exists in this universe, it raises the obvious question of where the fuck is Spider-Man in all this?
Bats eat spiders. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But I would suspect that they're just gonna barrel forward with this Sinister Six movie.
I That's also an interesting concept because this is the Garfield Spider-Man whose his whole plot was like dealing with these bio creations of Oscorp and kind of the fallout. And he's like, I want to, help these people. And he's come back. I guess he's come back to this universe after being multiversed. So I feel like his character would want to go up to Morbius and be like, "Hey, you have this like weird supernatural like crazy science condition. I'm a genius, and my whole arc has been dealing with these kind of these medical and biological mishaps. Maybe we could work on something."
Yeah, it's very interesting
But
to see
that's a
what they go with it. Like, obviously, they're gonna want to have the crossover with Spider-Man, but I don't think they're gonna bring Andrew Garfield back and make an Amazing Spider-Man 3. They're
Mhm.
gonna do something with Tom Holland, so that kind of confuses like the multiversal aspect of this even further. But I think Sony's gonna say we don't give a shit. Spider-Man's in it. You're all gonna watch it, and for the most part, they're right. So,
The only thing I could think of them salvaging this is if they bring in Spider Verse. If Spider Verse somehow opens up a method to where they can multiverse jump more,
please
but
don't. That's all I.
the more they do that with like multiverse jumping, the more they kind of run into issues with their current like storyline after Multiverse of Madness.
yeah, more
So
travel makes more problems. Just like
yeah.
just like Biggie once said, more money, more problems.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um,
I do not want to see Spider Verse touch any of this. Please keep please keep my baby safe. All I want is to see. I just want to see the Spider Man, the Japanese Spider Man reference. I want to see animated Leopardon and all that jazz and the good
Leopardon.
I want the good graphics and I want the good story and
Yeah,
let
I
the
don't.
live action
I would
stuff
not.
sit over here.
I don't expect Spider Verse to be involved in this. The most I could see is that they make a Miles Morales movie. That's
Mhm.
probably the most I would see that happening. Um, but I think I'm a little morbed out. So
Yeah.
said my piece on this movie. Tune in to Saturn Studs Podcast, dropping Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or daylight time, whatever it is. Saturdays at 3 Eastern. You can check out SaturnStuds.com for links to all our stuff, our social medias, our YouTube channel, Twitch channel, all that sort of stuff. We stream when we feel like streaming, and when we got a game to play, and we are working on some like medium form content for the YouTube channel in the future. So you want to get subscribed to that so that you don't miss it when it comes down. And until next time, be well, stay safe, party like it's 1995.
Peace.
Bye-bye.